All right, what's good? What's good? What's good? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope all is well. Tony T in the building. What's going on, man? Cadillac 634. What's good? Will Wright in the building. What's going on? Said 20 minutes to wait. Oh well, breakfast time. Yeah. Had to wait a little while, man, because I had a internet issue, man. Aisha, what's going on? I hope Tank sues Bradley and ESPN. I mean, for what, man? But that's real tacky, man. Dog, Tim Bradley's just tacky, man. Just straight tacky, man. Straight. Those guys are so over the top at ESPN, man. Like they are so over the top at hating on the PBC at on ESPN, man. They really need to put some brakes on that stuff. I mean, because they may not like one isolated thing. Like if it was just Tank, like it was just what he said about Tank, that would be one thing. But Steve, what's his name? Max Kellerman taking shots at Al Heyman. The stuff that they've been saying that they keep saying about Errol Spence Jr. and the Terrence Crawford fight. What they just said about Gervonta Davis. And it's like even this thing that they've been talking about with like 50-50 fights and how, these guys need to be in 50-50 fights. Like, okay, man, look, whoever's getting together and writing this crap for you guys, man, we all stop being such blatant hypocrites because there's nobody over there on that network that's fighting 50-50 fights. Nobody in that network no one on ESPN is fighting 50-50 fights. Let me know the 50-50 fight. Let me know the 50-50 fight that they put on last year. Tell me a 50-50 fight that any of those big name fighters over on ESPN, if they have any, had last year. It's the only 50-50 fights are ones that want to be in upsets where somebody got them wrong. And anyway, Antonio King in the building. What's going on, man? Ray Patterson, what's going on? Keys to the Game Boxing Channel. What's happening? Soda Black, what's going on, man? Thank you, man. I appreciate that compliment. Keith Perry said, obviously no Tank Ryan fight in Garcia. Ryan fight in April. What is confusing? Espinoza made it seem like he had no idea of Tank's February court date. What does this February court date got to do with Steven Espinoza? Why would he know about it? Why would he know about it? What difference does that make to him? He has a February court date. They may feel very confidently like he's not going to jail for that, man. And more than likely, dude is not going to go to jail for that. So why are you bringing up his court date? Anyway, man, hey, y'all just wild boys, man. What's going on, Mark? What's going on, Dwayne? Ryan Duck Tank smoke again, and Tim Bradley was trash ass boxer in a way. I mean, look, what's going on, Mass Arms? Asante L, what's good? What's good? Rick Timms in the building. What's happening with you, sir? How do they typically do splits on ESPN? I don't know. What do you mean splits on ESPN? For now, what's going on, Antonio Heaton? Yeah, Marquis, I don't know what you mean, man. Hunter Young says, so they were talking about the term sheet all the time and not the contract. Man, look, let me explain this to you guys. For the 9 millionth time. The 9 millionth time. You can have an agreement. Well, I don't want to get into that. They agreed to the terms. So I don't know if it was a term sheet or they went and they reviewed all of the terms. That's not what Steven Espinoza said. That they're not going to make the Garcia fight until they know for sure it's court. That's not what he said. God, dog, I wish people would stop making shit up, man. Like just listening to something and having no clue what the people are actually saying. Like at a certain point in time, you got to wonder if people are dumb. I listened to Steven Espinoza, bro. Steven Espinoza said he has no idea what Oscar De La Hoya is talking about. And he said there's plenty of times, even in Oscar's own organization, which, by the way, Steven Espinoza used to run. He said you can get the contract signed and all of that stuff complete the week of the fight. But everybody agreed to terms. Everybody agreed to all of that stuff. I did not hear him say that he was not going to make the fight until they knew about the court date. Stop lying, bro. Like, God, dog, man. Like, dude, it gets so old to sit up here on this channel and like literally have to. Where any grown person can sit up and listen to what Stephen Espinoza said. They can listen to what Stephen Espinoza said. And people just make stuff up. Like, where do you get that he said that he's not going to make the fight date until he's not going to do that until Tank's court date? Dude, people are pathological, man. It's pathological. Man. No, he did not say that. No, he did not say that. I've been telling you for a long time, though. This is all coming from Twitter. Espinoza's Twitter last night. I heard an interview on Twitter. Hold on, man. It's Stephen Espinoza. I hope that's true. Okay. Oh, that's fair. That is what he said. They're not going to sign or offer a final contract before Tank's trial and all of that. Hold on. Those contracts, fighters say they seem more than likely just the layouts of terms and likely scenarios. They're not going to sign or offer the final contract before Tank's trial. All of that is wrong. All of it. Dude, that's not true. Matter of fact, he specifically says it's not true. He says it's not true. Fanon, Stephen did say that. I think Fanon, someone tweeted that. No, dude, he did not say that. He says right here, I'm literally looking at his tweet where he quotes those contracts fighters say they seen are more than likely just the layout of terms and likely scenarios. They're not going to sign or offer a final contract before Tank's trial in Baltimore. All of that is wrong. All of it. He says all of that is wrong. All of that. No, he did not say that. All of that is wrong. All of it. And in fact, let me pull it up so you guys can leave me alone with this garbage, because I know full well what I heard with that. I heard what that man said. Hold on one second. Hold on, man. I'm sorry. Hold on. Hold on. Stephen Espinoza tweets and replies. All right. You guys are wild boys, bro. Here you go. All right. Notice this quotation mark right there. That is a quotation mark. That is a quotation mark. He is literally, this is a quotation mark. This is a quotation mark. He is quoting something that someone else wrote. Those contract fighters say they seen are more than likely just the layout of terms and likely scenarios. What likely scenarios? They are not going to sign or offer the final contract before Tank's trial in B-more. All of that is wrong. All of it. All of that is wrong. All of it. Let me do it again. All of that is wrong. All of it. Much love in that super chat. Hey, to my man, Stone Alone in the building. Thank you for the support, bro. I'm late, but I'm here. Good morning, Fanon and the chat. Smash that like button. Yes, sir, brother. Hey, tea time. That's all I was saying, Fanon. I was just saying the tweet he made is for real, not the content of the tweet is right. Oh, that's no worries. I appreciate you. I'm not on you, bro. Trust me. Hey, I appreciate you, tea time. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. People read and run without clicking see more. Bro, like that's literally quotation marks there, though. Though that means somebody is saying this, and he's referring to this. He's referring to this. Anyway, man, you know what, dude? Like, you know what's funny? People have been running, the media was running around with a couple things today, man. A couple things over the last week. I kept hearing about how big fights not happening, it's ruining boxing. Big fight is not happening, it's ruining boxing. I want to know why the guys that are actually making the big fights are the ones that get all the blame. Like, all of the blame is falling on, like, especially like from ESPN, who goes out of their way to blame Al Heyman and for a fight between Errol, Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford not happening, when Terrence Crawford was the one that turned the fight down. Then you turn around and cannot deny that Gervonta Davis is the biggest name in boxing, right? Or one of the biggest names in boxing. But you blast him for he's a piece of crap. He's a piece of crap. Dude, didn't nobody ask you about that, man? Didn't nobody ask you what you thought about that man being arrested? Nobody asked you that, Tim. They're talking to you about boxing. How about you keep it? But watch this. Is Devin Haney going to fight Shakur Stevenson at lightweight? No, he will not. Oh, maybe it'll happen at 140 or 147. The biggest fight that they can make on that network is not going to happen. Under the radar, right? Under the radar. The biggest fight that they have, that they can make, one of the biggest fights that they can make on that network is not going to happen. And that is Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney. Shakur Stevenson, Bill Haney said maybe they'll fight at 140 or at 147, which means they're never going to fight. Do you think that they're going to step up there on their platform and criticize either one of those guys for not making that fight? No. Real easy to point the finger at somebody that where they're not going to call your boss and get you to be quiet about it. Real easy. Tim, Bradley, say something about, I dare you to say something about Dana White. Out of the blue, since you brought it up all out of the blue. Since he brought it all up out of the blue. Because nobody asked you what you thought about that. You just volunteered it. Go ahead and next time somebody brings up the UFC, bring up Dana White and call Dana White a piece of shit. And say how you can't respect that man, you cannot respect that man, and how in his heart, he's a coward. I dare you to do that. You will not do that. You will zip your mouth about that opinion. 100%, you will zip your lips about that. And I can't respect anybody that I know. Anybody that I know is not going to say that. You will not say that. You will keep your mouth shut when it comes to Dana White. But somebody not on that network, you will talk all kind of crazy about him. And I heard what they said. What did you hear? You put your hands on me. You put your hands on me. You put your hands on me. That's the only thing Tim Bradley heard in that recording. You put your hands on me. You put your hands on me. You put your hands on me. You hear a woman say, never even claimed that he touched her. Never even claimed it in that call that he said he listened to, but never heard her say that he did it. She comes out and says, signs an affidavit that the man didn't do me any harm, and I overreacted. I freaked out. And you still acted like that man did that. Even though she said she didn't, you listened to the 911 call. She never said that he's touched me. Never said it. All he said is, you put your hands on me. You put your hands on me. And Tim Bradley jumps on his soapbox for no reason whatsoever, bro. Shame on you, man. That's coward. That's coward. Because you saw a videotape of Dana White, and I will bet you any money, because he can have millions. I'll bet him $1 million. I'll bet him $1 million he won't do it. Yeah, I'll bet him $1 million he won't do it. And he's gonna have to come up off that $1 million, because ain't no way in the world he's gonna say that on ESPN. Ain't no way he's gonna say that about Dana White on ESPN. Y'all, that is so ridiculous, bro. Just all out of the. Now, if somebody asked you about it, okay, maybe. If somebody said, hey, what do you think about him getting arrested? But dude, they didn't even do that. All they were talking about was the fight, and asked him what does he think about Gervonta Davis saying that he didn't think he was a good fighter. But no wonder he would say something about you like that, man. It's you so disrespectful to people, man. Jumping up and down, talking about Errol Spence Jr. like, yo, he's a duck. He's a coward. He's a duck. He's a coward. He's a duck. All of that nonsense just to have Terrence Crawford be the one that walked off that fight. How about y'all blame Terrence Crawford for not taking that fight and not having a 50-50 fight? And I'm telling you, I like Andre Ward. But dog, that's hypocritical, man. That's straight hypocrisy. For you to say, about Tank, or you're defined by the number of 50-50 fights you had. Bro, he had a 50-50 fight. It was called Jose Pedraza at 130 when he was an underdog. What 50-50 fight has Terrence Crawford ever had? Name a 50-50 fight for Terrence Crawford. Name one. You will not name a single solitary one. But that's how you know, when you're like that. What did he say? That's your career is going to be defined by the 50. Yeah, get your money. Get your money. I understand. Get your money. Yeah, exactly. Get your money. But when it's Terrence Crawford, it's the business. When it's Terrence Crawford, it's the business. But when it's Gervonta, yeah, I understand. Get your money. But at some point, you got to have a 50-50 fight. Even though Terrence Crawford has not had a 50-50 fight in his career. Has not had a 50-50 fight in his career. Lomachenko's had like one. One. By accident. He had one by accident. Y'all, by that I mean literally, he had one. And he was 34 before he did it. Keys to the game, always unbiased, bro. Let's get it popping. Team Blue. Yes, sir. Much love, brother. Thank you for that support, man. And John Boy in the building. He said, let's get it. More than all, shout out to everybody. Yes, sir. Shout out to everybody, man. Dog, seriously, man, that is so disappointing, man, to me. Mike Kirkland in the building. Much love in that super chat, brother. Man, shut up, you clown. Clashers World. PBC running the sport in the ground with inactivity. They lost all their network deals, but Showtime now. Yeah, thank you, man. Now go away. They're running into the ground but hey, man, great weekend of fights on ESPN. What a great weekend of fights on ESPN. We got to see Ife Ajagbe versus Stephen Shaw. Man, riveting card there, brother. Riveting card. I mean, man, I'm telling you, I was sitting up there on the edge of my seat that whole card. After Shoo got done, hey, man, I went to sleep. Okay, whatever, bro. Alex Chavez said, good morning, Fanon. Happy Martin Luther King Day from Yuma, Arizona. Oh, hey, man, yes, sir, brother. Man, you see that terrible looking statue? Much love, he says. 76 Mark Wrench, if possible, for sure. Absolutely. Much love in that super chat, brother. And 76 Mark said, thanks, John Bowie. Yes, sir. Hold on one second. Let me get to it, man. Man, I swear, bro, you guys are some brazen hypocrites, man. Like brazen hypocrites. God, dog. Y'all are on another level of hypocrites. Just for no good reason going in on the guy. No good reason. But that's all right. Dude ain't never had a 50-50 fight. Dude's Andre Ward had 2 50-50 fights. Actually, only had 1 50-50 fight. He had 1 50-50 fight. Maybe 2. Maybe 2. He had 1 or 2. 1 or 2. If you want to consider Chad Dawson a 50-50 fight. Other than that, he had Kovalev. That's it. That's all of his 50-50 fights. That's all. But you got his 50-50 fight with Shakur. The first Kovalev, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Maybe if you want to say Chad Dawson. Maybe Chad Dawson. Some people might have said, but then again, no, let me give him credit for that Super 6, though. I can't slap it because he said YouTubers beat ESPN again this weekend. Your cards suck, bro. Y'all cards suck. Just let you know. You got to be the most hardcore of hardcore fans to watch an ESPN card. Absolutely nobody. The one fight that they got, bad news, they are not going to make, which is Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. They're not going to make that fight. Bill Haney just said maybe at 140, maybe at 147. I don't want to hear nothing else from it. I don't want to hear, do not talk about fighting Gervonta Davis then. Devin Haney and ESPN better not say a word about any fight between Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney if you cannot fight Shakur Stevenson until you go to 140 or 147. Dog, I lost all kind of, straight hype. And I'm telling you, anybody says otherwise, you got to check yourself. There is no reason that Devin Haney can fight Gervonta Davis at 135 and he cannot fight Shakur Stevenson until he gets to 140 or 147. Other than the bank sitting in the back pocket of Gervonta Davis. That is the only reason. Bad news. Salute. Yes, sir, bro. John Bowie in the building said, for my big bro Mike Kirkland and Herbert Johnson. Brother, thank you for that support, man. Had a day off yesterday, so had to take a day off yesterday. So y'all, thank y'all for y'all support, man. My thoughts on Derrick James training AJ. I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy for both of them. I wish them best of both luck. I wish them both the best of luck as long as they're not fighting Deontay Wilder. Because I'm gonna root for Deontay Wilder. Mr. Pragmatic, brother, I'm sorry I missed your super chat. Let me slide back to my guy, the king of the king, no doubt. Good morning, Fanon, in the chat. Great commentary as usual, Fanon. Thank you, Mr. Pragmatic. And honestly, bro, brother, thank you for being the king, the absolute king of the super thanks in the videos, bro. Thank you, man. Tim Bradley admitted that he didn't know for sure if Tank was guilty, but still proceeded to badmouth him, talking about his father, said, don't look, bro, I have never laid my hands on a woman, never. Cornelia Burnett, I feel the exact same way that he said. I have never laid my hands on a woman ever. And I would not do it unless she was literally attacking me and I had to find some way to get her off me. Because at that point in time, you have to. You can't just be taking shots from people. You know what I mean? You got it, because, dude, that crap will hurt. You can get hurt if you do not defend yourself. You have a right to defend yourself. Other than that, not trying to hear it, right? I got literally I do not condone that at all. No patience for it, no none of that. But I'm going to tell you what I got less patience for. I got less patience for people that act like people are guilty and they ain't got no clue if they are or they're not. That is just as bad. That is just as bad, because you are laying your hands on, you are laying you are damaging the reputation of somebody that does not have the ability to defend themselves. The same thing you're accusing of him doing with his hands, you're doing with his mouth, you hypocrite. You're doing with your mouth. Because you're saying, I don't care what I heard, I don't care what she said, he did it. You are doing the same thing with your mouth that you are accusing him of doing with his hands. You are attacking that man's reputation. You are dragging his name down over something he has not had the ability to defend himself against. I don't need to hear all that. I heard what he was saying. All he said in the background was, you put your hands on me. You put your hands on me. And then he tries to give context and says, oh, look, man, she put crap on my toothpaste. She flipped out on me. She spit in my face. That's what happened. That doesn't give you an excuse to put your hand. He said he never did, Tim. He said he never did. Why don't you give this man his day in court? Just like you would want your day in court if somebody says something to you like that. If somebody accused you of doing something like that and caught you on tape yelling all this, that ESPN is just supposed to fire you. Well, you know what, man? Hey, you were accused, so sorry, you got to go. Man, dude, I lost a lot of respect for Tim Bradley with that. I had already lost a lot of respect for that dude, but I gave it back to him when he was doing all that screaming and yelling about how Errol's afraid and how Errol's a duck and he's scared of Terrence Crawford. Dude, you are 100% Terrence Crawford's friend. 100% saying that because you are Terrence Crawford's friend. You are not treating Errol Spence Jr. with any amount of respect. You don't treat the PBC with any amount of respect, and you blow off at you just shoot crap out your mouth without even thinking about it to the point of looking like a caricature. And then when Terrence Crawford is the one that says no to the fight, all of a sudden we don't know what's going on. Oh, we just don't know. It's the business. But before, you are 100% sure that it was Errol. Same thing for Andre Ward. Said the same thing. Was like, look, if he's not offering the right money, then hey, man, you got to be fair. You can't take everything. Then when Terrence turns down the fight, all of a sudden we're not at the table. We don't know. I hope they're paying y'all well, man. I hope they're paying y'all well. I'm sure they're paying y'all. I'm sure they paying y'all a lot better than Super Chats for what y'all are doing. Tearing at people's careers, man. Y'all are tearing at people's careers. And to do that to after the woman said he didn't do anything, for you still to do it. Oh, I don't believe what she says. She's the only one that said that it happened. She was only in the room. She's only the subject of it. And so when she says it didn't happen, I ain't trying to hear that. Won't say a word about Dana White, bro. I dare you to say something about Dana White. I dare you. C. Dubin said, what up, Fanon? Shout out John Bowie, Mike Kirkland, upper echelon in the building. Thank you for that support. C. Dewberry in the building, brother. Let me slide down. Hey, my man John Bowie said, my guy C. Dewberry, yes, sir. And Mike Kirkland back in that super stat for C. Dewberry, yes, sir. Undercard is May 20th confirmed for Loma Haney. Yeah, bro, on a pay-per-view that is going to flop. Fanon, my wife gets jealous when I'm home listening to you. Who gets, your wife or somebody gets jealous? That's funny. Dude would not say a word about Dana White. You couldn't pay him to say a word about Dana White. But a guy whose the girl said nothing happened. I would hate to see Tank age himself in boxing and lose to a lesser fighter like Roy or Pac. Look, Lonzo, let me tell you, man. Lonzo Turner. Look, man, I'm just going to tell you outside, just as a person, like away from boxing fan, bro, Tank need to get his money, bro. Tank could knock out Lomachenko. He could knock out Lomachenko. He could knock out Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, and they still will say this about him. The only thing, because they do not have a lick. They don't have a lick of objectivity over there at ESPN. They don't have a lick of objectivity over there at ESPN. It is about ESPN promoting ESPN fighters. Again, you are sitting right there with a big fight to be made, a big 50-50 fight to be made at lightweight between Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, and you all will not make that fight. Wake me up and I'll believe you when you guys let me know the next time you make a 50-50 fight. Wake me up when you do it. Okay? Because I don't know of one. You got Lomachenko and Devin Haney. Dang, she said you and that damn for now. That's what's up. Hold on a second, man. Don't cuss my name, no. Come on, man. Don't tell her not to cuss my name. That's not cool. Hey, much love to Incel, brother. We don't always agree, but he's steady supporting, brother. Thank you, man, for that love in the Cash App, brother. It means a lot, bro. Seriously, man, it means a lot. Hold on one second, though, because for some reason I can't get it. Oh, there it is. Incel, showing support. Thank you, brother, for the $10 holler, brother. Thank you very much, bro. Man, I swear, bro. I swear, man. I'll listen to him say that, man. Yeah, you saw Calvin Ford and Bill Haney talking for now. Yeah, I saw that. I talked about it on Saturday, man. These dudes are tripping. These dudes are tripping. Flat tripping. Said, be hating on you for now. We watching you habitually. Hey, look, man, it's all good. It's good boxing talk. At least he's in the house, ain't he? Bill selling wolf tickets. Let me tell you something, man. Devin Haney ain't knocking out Gervonta Tank Davis. He's not knocking out Lomachenko. He's not knocking out Shakur Stevenson. He's not knocking out anybody that is anybody with a functional chin is going the distance with Devin Haney. Okay? If he knocks him out, I'll be shocked. It is possible, but it is not probable. Okay? It has been, has he knocked anybody out this decade? Hold on one second. I don't think he's knocked anybody out this decade, but please do not bring me onto that conversation, bro. Like, because I don't want to do it. Let's see this decade. Yes, no. No. $20, $21, $22, $23. It will be 4 years it'll be 4 years since his last knockout. It'll be 4 years. 19, right? So 20, 21, 22, 23. And if he fights in May, hey, Mark, hey, Moneybag said, Fanan, get off the computer. You know that pillow fist. Nah, bro. I was trying to find out when the last time he had one was. And it was May. It's May. It was May of 2019. So it's been 4 years, bro. You could not knock out. He didn't knock out Santiago, Gamboa, Linares, Jose Diaz, or George Kambosos in either scenarios. He's not knocking out anybody's Gervonta Davis, okay? And on top of it, he's not even going to get close enough. He's not even going to get close enough to get a knockout. I'm telling you, he's not even going to get close enough to Gervonta to get a knockout. That's just silly, bro. It's not going to happen, bro. It's not going to happen. Anyway, like I said, let me know when ESPN, when you get your 50-50 fights, Mr. Talking Point. Whoever wrote your talking points that said, call for a 50-50 fight. When was the last time you had a 50-50 fight? I would like to know when. When was the last time y'all had 50-50 fights over there? Let me know when. Can somebody tell me a 50-50 fight that took place on ESPN? I don't recall of one. I don't recall of one. I don't recall one. So please, miss me. Exactly, Chisora Fury. Oh, that was 50-50. Chisora Dana White. Chisora versus what's his face? White, Dillian White. Yeah, that was 50-50. Ramirez Taylor. Yeah, okay, there you go. Ramirez Taylor, that was one. That was one. Okay, can I get another one? Ramirez Taylor. I'm not a Haney fan, but it's not about knockouts. It's about wins. Devin trying to psych them out. Look, bro, the man said he's gonna knock out your. You mad because he's gonna knock out Tank, dude? He's not, man. Are you kidding me? Will you stop? You mad because he's gonna outbox Tank? That's what the word is. He's not gonna knock Tank out. They said knockout. You know dang well there ain't no knockout coming. Okay, you know dang well there's no knockout coming. So please. The most avid Devin Haney fan on the planet knows there's no knockout coming. All right? No knockout coming at all, which is why we're not going to see the Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney fight, which is exactly why we will not see that fight. Because he can't knock out Shakur Stevenson. Since you cannot knock out Shakur Stevenson, you are going to lose to Shakur Stevenson. You're going to lose to Shakur Stevenson. So why blow Shakur Stevenson? Why blow Devin Haney on Shakur Stevenson? The only reason that people are talking about Gervonta Davis, trying to do all this stuff with Gervonta Davis, is because Gervonta Davis is actually giving fans what they want to see. And I find it really funny that a bunch of fighters that don't give boxing fans what they want to see, as evidenced by the fact that nobody's watching them, and nobody is paying for the fights, are the ones that are ruining boxing. Meanwhile, the ones with the big fan bases that everybody's trying to come see, they're the ones that are ruining boxing. How in the world do you come to that? Gervonta Davis is literally the one filling out stadiums. He's literally the one driving the conversations. But he's the problem in boxing, because at some point, we need to see you in a 50-50 fight. How about you guys do something with your fighters that makes somebody want to see them? Because your fighters are boring, with the exception of, and I'm sorry to sound like a casual. Casual alert. Casual alert. Casual alert. All right? I have to make an admission. I will fall asleep on your fights, bro. I'm just being honest with you. It's 11 o'clock at night, 11:30 at night, and you got guys jabbing each other all day, or guys that I could care less about. And I watch, and you know what they're good for? Andre Ward told the truth. We want to see Tank fight Shakur Haney. That's your truth. I could give a shit. I could give one. No, I want to see Tank fight, period. I'm dead honest with you, because I'm not waiting around for them to make that fight. For what? So they can turn around and just turn down the fight and then blame Al Heyman for it? Why do I even want to hear that? They just making crap up. They talked about Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. for years. And then even when Bob Arum was out of the way, they didn't make the fight. But they find some way to blame Errol Spence Jr. But since they can't blame Errol Spence Jr., they blame it on Al Heyman. Oh, it's really Al Heyman. Al Heyman found a way to successfully duck Terrence Crawford. So why mess with y'all? All love though on your channel, bro. Appreciate you all day, brother. Look, man, I would like to see those fights. But let's just be honest. They got to get their weight up. They got to get their weight up. They got to get their weight up because they can't afford to make that fight right now. They got to get their weight up. They'll blame the weight drain once Haney loses. Bro, Haney's not making the fight, man. They're not making that fight. He's going to go to 140. He's going to go to 147. Otherwise, he's just a brazen hypocrite. Because if you can fight Gervonta, who is not going above 135, I will slap Gervonta Davis personally if he goes to 140 to fight Devin Haney. You're a 135-pounder. Fight at 135 pounds. C. Dewberry, man, I used to really like Andre, but he's been saying all kind of nonsense lately. What is going on with Dre? I like Andre, man. I like Andre Ward. I still like Andre Ward. I don't have a problem with him other than the what? Max Kellerman exposed Al Heyman on Duck Talk. Man, God dog, man. Look, man, I don't have a problem with Andre Ward other than that 50. We can't wait for the 50-50. He really was kind of fair when he said, yeah, look, man, get your money. I understand it. Hey, man, you got to get your money. But at a certain point in time, we got to see a 50-50 fight. What irked me was he said the same thing, the 50-50. Like, when am I going to see him there with a 50-50 fight? Pretty much the same thing Tim Bradley said. So I'm like, okay, man. I'm like, okay, you guys are doing talking points. It's the 50-50 talking point. When you guys have your little meeting, they wrote down 50. We're going to request him to make 50-50 fights. Implying I can't wait to see you in there with our fighters. Because who are the 50-50 fights with Tank? Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. Maybe Vasily Lomachenko. That's it. How about you all fight each other? Devin fights Shakur. Devin can fight Lomachenko. And you know they're praying on Devin Haney losing that fight. Just so you know. Bob Arum is out there is praying. Please beat him. Please beat him. Please beat him. You got him trying to make fights between Shakur and George Kambosos. But George Kambosos said, no, thank you. I got my money. I'm going to take a soft touch next. I don't know if he gets stopped or not. I don't know if he gets stopped or not, bro. But see, Dewberry, brother, thank you so much for that support, man. And thank y'all for keeping continual keeping the color in the chat. Fanad, I wonder if they sold out the casino in Verona, New York. I don't know, man. Probably not, bro. I mean, it's Ife Ajabe, man. Ife Ajabe it got thrown away by the PBC. Ife Ajabe got tossed by the PBC. But Ajabe won that. He jabbed his way to that fight. He jabbed his way to a win, though. I like that. Oh, yeah, of course they do. Of course they want him to win. I ain't going to deny that. I'm not going to deny that. Yeah, I'm sure they do want him to win. So they can slap him back on that deal. But they ain't got to worry about losing Devin Haney because Devin Haney ain't going anywhere, man. Oscar was never going to make the fight. People should have already known Oscar and Ryan are clout chasing. Both are known liars. There was never going to be a Tank fight. Hey, man, they may make the fight. But I pretty much told you guys the entire time what I thought, which is that you guys can say this fight is made all the way till Oscar De La Hoya says it's not. And that move is high. That move is more than a little bit likely out of Oscar De La Hoya, man. Dark Truth, I'm behind in the chat, but Fanon is locked in. Yeah, man, it's irritating, man. I get tired of that, man. Like, number one, dude, like, y'all telling me that they said that fight's not going to happen till her fight date. Man, will you stop trying to sell Devin Haney on the back of Gervonta? God dog, man. Stop trying to sell him on Gervonta's back. Like, if Gervonta Davis ain't fighting nobody and he's not doing this, just leave his name out your mouth. But y'all can't leave his name out your mouth because he's the only fighter in that weight class that people by and large even care about. But the guy that is literally carrying the weight class is the one that you criticize constantly. Errol Spence Jr. has been carrying the welterweight division for like 4 or 5 years now. Literally is the guy whose back you lay on. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, you got Terrence Crawford fighting absolutely no fights that the masses of people are interested in. When he gets a fight that the masses of people are interested in, he turns it down. And then when Errol gets put in a position of fighting at least a fight that people used to want to see, you know what I'm saying? At least it's a fight people used to want to see. Oh, well, there's a problem with that. But there's no problem with David Avenation. No problem. And you're a hater if you don't support him with David Avenation. You all are the problem with boxing. The media is the problem with boxing. Y'all are. Because you can't tell it like it is. Because you tucked up underneath a network. And you got to sell what that network is selling. Just ridiculous, bro. Hey, what's going on? Hey, man, what's going on, man? Harry, brother? How you feeling, man? Always good to see you, man. Tank will never fight Haney. He knows Haney will embarrass him. No, bro, he's never going to fight him, bro, because Devin Haney's not going to be in the weight class. Devin Haney's not going to be in the weight class. He's going to be at 140 and 147. He's never going to fight him because Devin's never going to leave Top Rank. Okay? That's why the fight's not going to happen. The fight's not going to happen for the same reason that fight with Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia is probably never going to happen, because they're not going to make the fight. This Bob Arum's not going to make that fight. And guess what? Bob Arum has to make that fight for him, because I promise you this, Al Heyman is not paying a lot of money for that fight. Al Heyman and Showtime is not going to pay a lot of money for a Devin Haney-Gervonta Davis fight. Nah, he won't. They won't. He's not. That's why the fight's not going to happen. All this other talk it's all fun. It's all fun. Who said Devin is definitely not? No, he's a big boxing fan, bro. He just likes Devin Haney. Devin Haney's a very good fighter, man. He's a very good fighter. Devin can fight. No, he's not a casual at all. Devin can fight. There's nothing wrong with thinking Devin Haney can beat Gervonta Davis. There's nothing wrong with that. If you believe that, there's valid reasons for believing that. Devin Haney is a legitimate, very, very good fighter. Dude, I'm telling you, man, I'm about talking about the realness, okay? To the extent that I can humanly possible. To think that Devin Haney can beat Gervonta is not unreasonable. It's not. To think he can knock him out is ridiculous. To think he's going to knock him out, bro, check the gloves and wait for the test to come back. Okay? Because if that knockout takes place, it's because those gloves are loaded and he's juiced to the gills. That's how a knockout can come over there. Other than that, he's not even going to get close. He's not going to come close enough to Gervonta to knock him out. Because Gervonta Davis will definitely send him into Planet Next. Okay? Definitely Planet Next. When I'm saying that fight's not going to happen, I'm looking at who's going to make the fight. Devin Haney is not a big name. He's not. Or let me put it this way. He's not a revenue producer. He costs money. He's not a revenue producer. He costs money. Similarly, every single solitary top-ranked fighter costs money. They don't make money. They cost money. All of them. Name them. Name a top-ranked fighter, and I'm going to tell you a fighter that is costing money and not generating more money than he's paid. Tell me one. One. Tyson Fury over there in the UK. Maybe. And that's a big-ass maybe. Maybe Tyson Fury. Maybe for BT. For Queensland or Queensberry. Whatever Frank Warren's thing is. Ryan Garcia is with DAZN. Ryan Garcia is with DAZN. Wilder's with the PBC. Fury is only kind of with Top Rank. He's over there in the UK fighting on BT Sports. And they show his fights during the afternoon. So most of that money is over there in the UK. But say Tyson Fury, who got built on Showtime. Tyson Fury, who got built on Showtime. But okay, but really won Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury. That's it. Everybody else that you can name, none of those guys are revenue producers. None of them. Which means whatever amount of money that they're getting paid over there, they're only going to be able to fight fighters. They're only going to be able to fight PBC fighters that they will send over there to get paid on the ESPN budget. That's it. If they're like, okay, no worries. Oh, how much money are we going to make over here? Okay, no worries. Because, yeah, we can send them over there to ESPN because your budget is going to, he's going to make more off your budget than we will over here on a scheduled fight with Showtime or Fox. Right? But if you're talking about, I don't even know about Monster. Monster is over there in Japan, bro. I'm not talking about any fighter that they just have they just have the rights to show on, that they have the rights to show to air the fight on the US, man. Monster's over there in Japan. And Tyson Fury is over there in the UK. Those guys are there. Those are co-promotional deals. Those are co-promotional deals, which allow them to show the fighter in the US, bro. So anyway, back to the US fighters that they have. None of them generate any revenue. So that means that those guys are going to have to go over there to fight Errol. They would have to go over there to fight Gervonta. Right? They have to go over there to fight Errol or Gervonta. They got to go over to the PBC. And then when they go over to the PBC got to go look at him and say, okay, nope, Shakur either. Not Shakur either. Not, like I said, nobody over there. Nobody. Unless they're paying Shakur $500,000. If they're paying Shakur anything over if they're paying him $2 million a fight, $1.5 million, $2 million a fight, no, they're losing money on him. So if in order to make that fight, they either have to pay Gervonta Davis $40 million. They either got to give Gervonta a $40 million guarantee to go over there and fight on you, go over there and fight over on ESPN, or they're going to have to pay those guys $500,000, something like that, to make the fight with Gervonta on PBC because they don't sell any tickets. That's real. That's real. So you got Gervonta over here giving them lip service. Like, yeah, when I get done with these fights, yep, then I'm going to go looking for them. No, bro. Them dudes are not going to be able to fight you because, first of all, you know dang well that Bob Arum is not going to send them over there if they're not making any money for them. Shakur ducked Devin too. Nah, Devin's ducking Shakur, bro. Nah, bro. Shakur is not ducking Devin. Devin's ducking Shakur. Period. Shakur ain't ducking nothing. Devin's ducking Shakur. The only thing Shakur is not doing is Shakur is not being vocal about it because he's being nice. If Devin was in that situation, Devin wouldn't be nice. They'd be calling Shakur every kind of duck under the sun. But then again, maybe he wouldn't because Shakur doesn't pull in it. His fights don't generate any money. It's all on Gervonta because Gervonta is the one that is generating the money. Now watch this. You realize it has been 10 days, over 10 days since Gervonta Davis fought Hector Garcia, right? Nobody's lied about his pay-per-view numbers yet. Have you noticed that? Nobody's lied about his pay-per-view numbers yet. It's real mum on that subject from The Usual Suspects, bro. Real mum. Mum's the word on those pay-per-view numbers. No, he did 100,000. Because now you actually have to do this. You have to, when y'all lie and say it did 200,000, it did less than 200,000. When you lie, you got to figure out, well, how in the world is that when everybody watched the fight? Everybody watched it. And it did a $5 million gate, sold out the Capital One Arena, has over a $5 million gate, but nobody bought the pay-per-view, your lie will not match. Your lie will not match. But it's PBC that's bad for business. It's PBC that's bad for business. While you guys are over there matchmaking fighters for years and years and years and years. Years and years and years and years of matchmaking fighters. You literally will not put a fighter in against somebody unless you're 80% sure your guy's going to win that fight. And you know that's the truth. Showtime, HBO, ESPN, or Top Rank will not put a young fighter in for a championship or against a high-level fighter until they are 80% sure that that fighter will win that fight. They matchmake to death. You have not seen Keyshawn Davis in anywhere near the competition that you've seen Gary Antoine Russell in. Compare Gary Antoine Russell last year versus what Keyshawn Davis did last year. Keyshawn Davis didn't fight anybody. Everybody he fought, you knew exactly what was going to happen in that fight. But yet, with Gary Antoine Russell, they put Gary Antoine Russell in there with Victor Postol and Ramses Bartholomew, and are now trying to get him in there with Quayle. With Quayle. ESPN doesn't make any fights. They don't make any 50-50 fights. They don't make them. That's why you see guys all of a sudden like Edward Berlanga. Edward Berlanga is knocking everybody out. What happened to Edward Berlanga? What happened to Edward Berlanga? He goes the distance one time, and all of a sudden let's kill the hype on him. Let's kill the hype on him. Why? Because they realize, we can't put him anywhere near a champion anytime soon. So sorry, if you go the distance, you're done. Xander Zayas just went the distance. Watch what happens with Xander Zayas. They've been talking about Xander Zayas, like Xander Zayas, all that. Xander Zayas has fought absolutely nobody. Absolutely nobody. Nobody. Compare that to Gary Antoine Russell. They're not making fights, idiot. They are matchmaking fights and hyping fighters. Matchmaking them and hyping them. They are not putting those guys in difficult fights with each other. It is not happening. Even with Tyson Fury. Dude, Tyson Fury just took two cakewalks. He takes one. He fought fights with Deontay Wilder. Everything else has been a cakewalk. At least Errol Spence Jr. is fighting Keith Thurman. But you guys find some way to be like, he's fighting Keith Thurman. Oh, man, what about, like, all of a sudden you care? Oh, well, what about the fact that it's in 147? It's in 154 and not 147. I'm so disappointed for Keith. Keith won't even be able to be a champion. 5 seconds ago, clowns, y'all were acting like the fight shouldn't be made, and that was, they always knew that they were going to do it. It was the plan all along. Now you got another network doing it. I'm telling you, the networks are the network is the main problem in boxing. I wish they would all be in one place where you could all, let them lose. Let them lose and put them back in there. Let them lose. But no, that's why I'm telling you, bro, if I was Tank, dog, until you put some respect on my name, I'm not fighting none of y'all. I guess who I'm going to fight next? I'm going to fight another Hispanic, and I'm going back to D.C. I'm going to fight Gary Russell Jr. in D.C. That's what I'm about to do. And I'm about to collect me another 12, 13 million fighting Gary Russell Jr. And, hey, Mark Magsayo, move up. Hey, Ray Vargas, you want some smoke? Come on up, Ray Vargas. Hey, Abner Mares, put that eyeball back in socket and get in his ring. I'm making my money because those dudes ain't going to give you no credit no matter what you do. Don't try to shut them up because they're not going to shut up. They're not going to shut up. They're going to suck the life off your name, bro, is what they're going to do. And then they're not even going to fight, bro. then they're not even going to fight. Because you know full well, Bill Haney just said that they're not going to fight Shakur Stevenson until he's at 140 or 147. Why should Gervonta fight both Shakur and Devin? How about you guys fight each other? When you fight each other, then I'm going to know who the best is. And then I'm going to fight whoever the winner is. Because I got the money over here. I'm not giving you, earn your payday. Earn your payday. Of course you're blaming PBC. That's how it's always got to be the PBC's fault. The best you can get is, it's both of their faults. Nah, dog, it's ESPN's fault. I'm putting it on them because they got a budget and they don't put no fights on. I'm blaming both Top Rank and PBC for not making these fights. I'm the fights what the fans are calling for. Look, bro, I think the PBC has made fights that the fans are looking for. They made all those fights in 147 with Errol Spence. They made the Tyson Fury and the Deontay Wilder, and they made Tyson Fury and the Deontay Wilder fights. Much love in that super chat. They made the Floyd Mayweather Jr., the Manny Pacquiao fights. Now you tell me what fights ESPN has made that the fans want to see. Let me know what they are. They made Canelo Alvarez and Floyd Mayweather. Last time I checked, they made Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant for Undisputed at 168. DAZN didn't do it. Yeah, they making Plant Benavidez. They made Plant Benavidez. They made Undisputed. They made all those Undisputed fights for Jermell. They made Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano 1 and 2. They made them. They made Errol. They made Errol, Danny Garcia. They made Errol, Keith. They made Errol, Sean Porter. They made Errol, Manny Pacquiao. Errol, Yordani Ugas. Said you got Kambosos Lopez. Yeah, that's what y'all made Kambosos Lopez. Cool Boy and Figueroa. And my understanding is that there's a good chance that they're going to allow Cool Boy versus Monster Inoue. They also said they're not fighting Regis. Of course they're not fighting Regis. Now look, if he don't fight Regis, duck sauce. Ducks. If he don't fight Regis, don't fight Shakur, dude, y'all need to tuck all of that stuff. Y'all tuck it. And don't tell me nothing about him fighting Gervonta if he's not fighting Shakur. Or Regis or Gary. He don't fight Regis, Gary, or Shakur. You can stop all that duck talk. You can stop all of that. In the tracks. You can stop all of that if they don't fight each other. All of it. If they don't fight, those guys don't fight, why you bugging Tank? Because of the money. So don't tell me nothing about belts mattering and all of that stuff if you're just chasing him for the money. You're chasing him for the money. It's all on Tank because he's the one that people want to see. You're the champ. Shakur Stevenson's a pound-for-pound fighter. Fight him. Was Taylor's win over Regis an upset? No, it wasn't an upset. It was a 50-50 fight. That was a 50-50 fight. Yeah, but Errol hasn't fought in a whole year, and the other fighters isn't staying active. Keith Thurman as well. Yeah, because Terrence Crawford ducked him. What does that got to do with anything, bro? Come on, Jeffrey, man, you got to stop, man. Jeffrey, bro, you are just a Terrence Crawford fan, and you know full well what you see. You just won't do it. Much love in that super chat, brother, but you know full well. That man tried to make a fight with Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford just ran away from the fight. So he fought in April. So he got in a car accident, and he's fighting in April. What's the problem? He's fighting in April. He fought once a year. Terrence Crawford fights once a year. Terrence Crawford fight Ab Nation. And y'all don't have no problem with that. Still don't got no problem with it. That's my guy, though. You know what it is. What you supposed to do? But you guys should, hey, seriously, man, ESPN, ESPN puts on type of fights where it's like they have very good fighters. Top Rank has very good fighters that do not fight anybody, that fight in fights that they're still matchmaking. That's why Top Rank got so many Hall of Fame matchmakers. Hall of Fame matchmakers. And because the matchmakers do their job better than anybody. They will put fighters in there and you'll think it's an even fight, but it ain't an even fight. Because the matchmakers know full well who's going to win. Because they're building their fighters. But right now, they're not building their fighters towards big fights. They're just building their fighters to continue to take that ESPN budget. Because ESPN has boxing, but ESPN don't care about boxing. It's secondary to them. All they want to do is get as many fights as they can out of a fighter. That's it. They want 15, 20, 30 fights out of a fighter. And they're going to keep selling the idea of eventually they'll be in a big fight, like Terrence Crawford, who has not been in one yet. Davis has fought nobody, but God dog. Show seems like it to me. How are you going to sell out all these arenas against nobody? Terrence Crawford ducked like quack, quack, do quack, quack. Quack, quack. Let me ask you a question. How do you fight nobody and sell out stadiums? How do you fight nobody and sell out stadiums? That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. If the only measure of whether or not you're getting the fights that people want to see is if people watch your fights. That's the only measure that there is. So, if you fight somebody and nobody watches you, you must not have fought somebody that anybody thinks anybody wants to see. Who's the guy that's fighting all these people? What fighter is this that's giving you the fights that you want to see? That fight fans want to see? Why you complain about the casual? Well, the reason casuals are leaving the fight, the reason casual boxing fans aren't watching is, well, the casual boxing fans are watching Tank. The casual boxing fans are not watching ESPN. The casual boxing fans are watching Tank at the auditorium, paying $6,000 to see him. No, those are the people. The casual boxing fans are watching Tank. The casual boxing fans are watching Errol. And the reason you know that is because Errol can sell 45,000 tickets in Dallas Stadium. They're actually getting on planes to go see him. You guys are fighting in ballrooms, talking smack from a ballroom, blaming everything on the guys that are actually selling the tickets. I want to know why you're not to blame when nobody's watching you. How does that work? How is it Errol's fault? Errol's the reason casuals don't watch the sport, while even hardcore fans won't watch Terrence Crawford. It's like you are a bunch of broke people blaming the guy that's buying the meal for you. You're not spending enough of your money on this food. Hold on, I'm buying it. You're the problem that all these people aren't fed. You. Hold on, I bought the food that we do have. Oh, no, it's your fault. It's not your fault. You're broke. Nobody's watching you. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows who you are, but it's my fault. How about you go do something for somebody to know you? How about you knock somebody out? How about you concuss somebody? How about you take one to give one? What do you mean? Nobody's watching you. But it's their fault. It's all Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s fault. The boxing is not. Floyd Mayweather was the one everybody wanted to watch, but it was his fault. It wasn't Bob Arum's fault, who's out there trying to sell you a bunch of guys that people don't want to see. It's amazing how the people that are flunking out are the problems and not the straight A student. If you want to look at the GPA, if you say you look at the performance of Gervonta Davis, it's straight A's. Straight A student. The man is giving you fights on a regular basis because you know if he only fought once a year, then you complain about that. Oh, I know he really gave me a great fight and all that, but he only fought once this year. He didn't fight 3 times like Xander Zayas, who, even though you didn't watch any of his fights, he still fought 3 times. like, man, y'all don't get out of my face with this nonsense, bro. Y'all don't get out of my face blaming the people, blaming the prosperous. The guy literally just had a big fight that everybody was excited about, everybody enjoyed, but he's the problem. And not this raggedy fight that you got over here coming on May 20th that you think is going to go on pay-per-view. Good luck, bro. Oh, good luck. Good luck selling Lomachenko and Devin Haney on pay-per-view, when you know full well that fight is going to go 12 rounds of this. Punch, punch, grab. Punch, punch, grab. Punch, punch, shift left, grab. Jab, 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 jab. Shift left, move forward, grab. For 12 rounds. Brrr. I literally can see that fight I can see the fight. I know exactly what's going to happen in that fight. Devin Haney is going to pity pat, and as soon as Lomachenko jumps to the left, he's going to jump to the left. Pity pat. Move forward, grab his arms, grab him, hold him, break it up. They're going to break him up, stick your shoulder out, bump him off, jab, stop for 12 rounds, bro. And then it was a masterclass boxing performance. Let me tell you, you better hope Ashante don't have a concert in the city at the same time. Okay? Now tell me I'm lying. Tell me that fight is not going to come out just like that. Tell me that fight would not be just like I just said it was. You do not know what's going to happen in an Errol Spence fight. To credit, I know what's going to happen in Terrence Crawford's fights too. Terrence Crawford is going to find his spade, and then he's going to get a one-punch knockout against a guy that's a tomato can. There you go. Anyway, you're saying duck, and I'm saying it's a duck, bro. It's not Jeffrey Brooks, come on, man. I'm not going to keep doing this with you, bro. Jeffrey, you're going to have to, at a certain point in time, dog, just fess up. You've said that 100 times, man. Much love in that super chat. You're saying duck, I'm saying it's business. Fine, it's business. He would not fight him because it's bad business for him. He still didn't make the fight. You say duck, oh, it's just business. Okay, fine. Business says, Devin, go fight somebody else. I'm telling you, business says, go fight somebody else. Because you're not going to make me any money, bro. You're a waste. No, bro, you're not. I'm not making any more money fighting you, man. No, bro, it ain't business. Drop the link for, no, I'm not dropping a link. Drop a link for what? I don't want to keep having, I'm not dropping a link. Drop a link for who's Damon? I don't even know who Damon is. Nah, bro. I'm not in the mood to drop a link, bro. Sir, Fanon, sir, are absolutely correct. It'll be a snore fest with Loma. But Devin, I'll watch the fight, bro. Fanon, like, stop. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Quay said exactly. Yeah, it's going to be business. And guess what? It's business for Ryan Garcia, who's not going to take that Gervonta fight. Much love in that super chat, bro. You got Oscar De La Hoya that's not made a fight, has not made a fight in years. They've not made a fight in years. They've not made a fight in years. Tell me one fight Oscar De La Hoya is made in years. Give me one. Give me one. The last fight of any significance that Oscar De La Hoya made was Gennady Golovkin versus was Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin. That's it. That is it. And even then, they thought they caught an old Gennady Golovkin. I hear him calling out everybody but Shakur. They're not going to fight Shakur. They're not going to fight Shakur. So leave Gervonta Davis's name out your mouth. It's that simple. It's that simple. Neither one of them hold titles. Neither one hold titles. According to Devin Haney and Bill Haney and all of y'all over there, Gervonta does not have a belt. Since Gervonta Davis does not have a belt, what do you want to fight him for? Since he's not a champion, what do you want to fight him for? Why not Shakur? Shakur ain't got a belt. He ain't got a belt. Shakur is an easier fight to make because you guys both work with Bob Arum. Why you bothering Gervonta? Since he doesn't have a belt. Elephant in the room. Why you bothering Gervonta? Gervonta's a 130-pounder. Why you bugging Gervonta? Honestly, dude, Gervonta should do that. Gervonta should be like, you know what? You're right. I'm going to 130. I'm going to fight these guys at 130. What you going to do if I go to 130? Where I will snatch every one of these. I will snatch every one of these belts at 130. Easy money. He just whooped the 130-pound champion. All he got to do is just weigh in at his natural weight class. You said, whoa, Tank can't make that buddy 130. Yes, he can. He just made 130. Just made 130. What do you mean? He made 130 for he made 130 like 3 fights ago. Go to 130. Anyway, I'm just telling you, I'll be like that. Because you're not going to get, you're just going to keep laying on the PBC and blame the PBC for everything when the other promoters are doing squat. But yet you blame, it's the fault of the guys that are selling the tickets. It's their fault. What sense does that make? It's the fault of the guys that are actually giving fans fights that they want to see. Tell me I'm lying. Aren't they actually giving people fights that people want to see if the fights that people are watching are theirs? Bro, Rolly is garbage. Bro, Rolly's garbage. Did you watch the fight? Did you watch it? Did they sell out the arena and did you watch it? The only objective measurement of whether or not somebody's giving people fights that they want to see is if people watch the fight. That's the only way you know. I would love to hear somebody tell me something other than that. The only way you know if you are giving people the fights they want to see is if people watch the fight. If people are not watching your fights, you are not giving people fights that they want to see. That's the only realistic measurement of that. So, since everybody is watching Gervonta Davis's fights, then Gervonta Davis is giving them the fights that they want to see. Since everybody watched Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s fights, Floyd was giving everybody the fights that they wanted to see. If nobody is watching your fights, then you're not giving anybody fights they want to see. Easy and undeniable at the same time. So, who is actually giving the fights that people want to see? Is it the PBC or is it Top Rank? Seeing as two biggest names in American boxing are both with the PBC, I would suspect it's the PBC and not Top Rank. Since everybody watches Gervonta Davis's fights and nobody is really watching your ESPN fight card in Australia, that really the fight that people wanted to see was Gervonta. And they didn't care about the belts you waving in their face. Because all you're really doing is waving belts in their face and saying, ooh, look at the shiny belt. Everybody watch the shiny belt. There's shiny belts in the ring. The shiny belt means that I'm a champion. A champion means that I'm the best. That means you want to watch me. And everybody's like, will you get that crap out of my face? I want to watch the Tank fight. No, thank you. Don't like that dude, do you? Don't like that, though. That's a little bit too actual for you, isn't it? Isn't it? That's the truth. There's only a certain weight divisions where you're going to get big name fights for the most part. Heavyweight, middleweight, welterweight, and lightweight. Say what you want to say about Canelo, but people want to see Canelo Alvarez's fights. The problem is that nobody wants to see the other guy's fights because Canelo won't give him a shot to get on that stage. You got a different Canelo problem. But Canelo is not in and of himself bad for boxing because Canelo is one of the guys that people actually want to see. So you can't blame him for the downfall of boxing. I can say I'm sick of him because I want to see him fight a particular person, but that's me. That's me. You all sitting there riding on Gervonta Davis's coattails and talking crap at the same time. I'm like, dude, shake him off your coattail. Same thing with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Errol needs to go tell Terrence, hey, man, take a long walk off a short pier. Good luck. Good luck. Hey, man, good luck. I'm just going to, yeah, I know. Y'all really, but I'm going to fight Keith Thurman. Y'all going to be in Texas? Y'all going to be ringside for my fight with Keith Thurman in Texas? We're going to be over there. After that, and guess what? I'm still got my belts if I want to fight Terrence. But Terrence, you got 15 minutes to sign this contract, bro. 15. Please pull up Gervonta Davis's pay-per-view numbers. Hey, Guadalupe Candido. Let me pull him up for you. It is 100 times greater than Devin Haney's and Shakur Stevenson's. Yeah. So let's do the math. Yeah, let me pull up his number. His number is, which by the way, you cannot do. You cannot pull up his number because they don't release his numbers. But they usually say 250,000. So let's go to 250,000. And we're going to multiply that times 80, which is how much it costs. That's $20 million. That's $20 million plus $5 million gate. That's $25 million. That's his numbers. $25 million on $2.5 million guaranteed, which means you are making around $17 to $18 million on his fights. Those are his numbers. Now, will you please go pull up the numbers of anybody else you want to name, not named Gervonta Davis, not named Errol Spence, not named Canelo Alvarez, not named Tyson Fury? What are what's Shakur Stevenson's pay-per-view numbers? Oops, not one. You don't have any. What are Devin Haney's pay-per-view numbers? Sorry, you don't have any. Only thing you have is the gate. So go pull up their gates. And you know what you're going to find? About a $4,500,000 difference between the two. Y'all need to go somewhere, bro. Do not mention these dudes with Tank as far as them being attraction. It's just over with. Okay? He's not Floyd Mayweather Jr. No, he's not Floyd Mayweather Jr. However, as soon as somebody gets up there that is also a draw, then you may get something like that. Maybe it can be Ryan Garcia. Because Ryan Garcia does do bigger gates than both Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney. Actually, the numbers are, I do believe it's number 1 is Gervonta. Number 2 is Ryan Garcia. Number 3 is Shakur Stevenson. Number 4. Number 4, I do believe. I think Devin Haney is number 4 or number 5. But we won't even know because he's just headlining right now. This actually, I don't know. Has he headlined yet? This will be his first time headlining. I don't even know if he's going to headline this one. Is Lomachenko, who's the headliner in that? Lomachenko or Devin Haney? I don't even know who the headliner is in that. Texas Bulldogs. Look, King, because I'm not going to mention that because it's not true. I don't care what lie Rick Glazier tells you, King. I'm not going to mention 52,000 because it's not true. I'm not going to mention he sold 5 pay-per-views either. I'm not going to mention that he sold 1 million pay-per-views. All I'm going to tell you is he sure keeps getting on pay-per-view. He sure seems mighty happy fighting on pay-per-view. Errol Spence Jr. sure looked at 25 million like big deal. He sure looked at 25 million like no thank you. He sure looked at a $10 million offer he looked at a $10 million, Gervonta Davis looked at a $10 million offer from Eddie Hearn like, are you stupid? No thank you. Go away. I don't know how many people are turning down $10 million paydays and saying no thank you, go away. You all are just haters. A good amount of you are racists. And some of y'all are just getting bought. When you sit there and say that the organization that has made the biggest pay-per-views over the last 22 years is the problem, and not the people hiding on a network, ESPN, that you cannot tell me a single big fight that they put on. That's what you are. And King, you know you're both the R word and the H word. Haney fans are just like him, haters. Dog. Look, man. I had bigger fights in the streets. Danny Dubois has the best fights for 9. You funny. Thank you. Y'all just want to find a way to tear these guys down. You've been trying to tear them down since Floyd got there. Same old thing. You guys keep doing the same old thing. ESPN is not giving you great fights. Shakur Stevenson, the best fight I've seen Shakur Stevenson in is Oscar Valdez. And I think that Terrence Crawford had to sue Bob Arum before he made that fight. You literally got George Kambosos who will not fight Shakur Stevenson. You got Devin Haney that will not fight Shakur Stevenson. Hey, E Snooty, bro, we can't keep doing the trolling, bro. I'm serious, man. You trying to do that Terry Schmoot stuff, bro? I'm not gonna do it. E Snooty, you're not in the troll. You're not in the troll category, bro. Please stop. Because that's just being a distraction, bro. No, I'm not playing today. Because I gotta listen to you guys tear down. I gotta listen to y'all stupidity too much. It gets old, man. You guys they're literally not doing anything. I watched a PBC fight. I watched a PBC card on the weekend, last weekend. This weekend, I watched a Top Rank card. Top Rank card is absolutely positively mud. Why are you hating on the young undisputed champion? He could be your great grandson. Stop hating on the young king. Stop getting in your feelings. Bro, I'm not in my feelings at all, and I'm not hating on him. He's an undisputed champion. He's not old enough to be my great grandson. And your state that just making that statement tells everybody listening to it, you're nothing but a troll and can't be taken seriously. Devin Haney does not sell tickets. He doesn't. Not like Gervonta. If you will not fight Shakur Stevenson, stop talking about Gervonta. Why are you talking about Gervonta and not? Why do you got to wait for Shakur to 140 and 147? But you want to fight, but you can fight Gervonta. Now that you're blocked, explain that to me in the next name you come back under. Somebody explain that to me. G-Money, G-Meanie, the hate is real on Devin. The hate is not real on Devin. The facts are hard on Devin. The facts are hard on Devin. I think his gonads may be hard on your chin. But you cannot tell me that this man can fight Gervonta. He cannot fight Shakur Stevenson until he goes to 147, 140 or 147. But he can fight Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis does not have a belt, according to him. So neither one of them have belts. One guy's in the top 10 pound for pound, is a multi-divisional world champion at 126 and 130. One is a former unified champion, which Gervonta Davis has never been. Gervonta Davis has had one belt at a time at 135, at 130. He never had a belt in 126. He doesn't have a belt in 140, according to y'all. And he doesn't fight on the same network as Gervonta. As Devin. So why not Shakur? Why can you fight Gervonta and not Shakur? Why? What's the difference? What's the difference? Because one is Gervonta Davis. Because Gervonta is the man in that weight class. That's why. That's why. You all just won't admit that he's the man. You just want to crap on him. But there's got to be something. There's got to be some reason that he won't fight Shakur, but he wants to fight Gervonta. No, you don't even have to say that. I could care less. And then why you want to fight Gervonta? Yeah, that's all you can say is Undisputed. Congratulations on Undisputed. Now fight Shakur. Great, he's undisputed. So what does he want Gervonta for? You got anything to say? Anything to say? Any way around that? Right, because he wants Tank's clout. Exactly, because Tank has the clout. Because Tank is who people want to see fight. That's why. That is why. That is because of Gervonta's success. He wants to fight him because of Gervonta Davis's success. That's it. That's why Tim Bradley got Gervonta Davis's name in his mouth. That's why Andre Ward's got Gervonta Davis's name in his mouth. Not because of his failure, but because of his success. And you want to give guys, you want to blame the guy that's been successful and make excuses for the guy that has been successful in collecting belts in one fight and having one title defense against a guy that we knew he was going to beat. Devin has not been in a big fight. Devin has not been in a fight that people wanted to see yet. Shakur has been in one fight that people wanted to see. One. Oscar Valdez. Other than that, Shakur Stevenson's never been in a fight that anybody wanted to see, that people want to see, other than to want to see Shakur fight, or other than to want to see Devin fight. But for somehow, some reason, it's all on Tank. Terrence Crawford has never been in a fight. Never been in a fight that everybody wanted to see. Everybody, his fights for the last 5 years have been interesting only because of the possibility that it will bring along a fight with Errol Spence Jr. And that is it. And that is it. But somehow it's Errol's fault. The guy that is literally giving you fights that people wanted to see. And how do you know that people wanted to see him? Because people paid for the fight and they filled the arena. Not because Teddy Atlas says, oh, I like that fight or I don't like that fight. Or Tim Bradley says, oh, I like that fight or I don't like that fight. But because people actually bought the fight and went to the fight. G Money. This guy is nothing funny about what I'm saying, and you know it. G Money. G Money. This is a fact, G Money. Go into the grocery store. G Money. And go try to walk out with something if you don't pay for it. How do you know you paid for it? You better have your receipt. Your receipt where you gave the money for the thing you walked out with. G Money. You only know if somebody wants to see a fight if they pay for it. Easy. I already paid for ESPN. All those fights I paid for no matter what. Everybody that watches a fight on ESPN Plus, dude, you get the Australian Open on ESPN Plus. You get Muhammad Ali you get Muhammad Ali retro fights on ESPN Plus. You get baseball games on ESPN Plus. People that watch that already paid for it. That don't mean that they were willing to pay for it. So you don't know if they wanted that fight. That fight is there as a convenience. That is there as a convenience. Oh, it's convenient. Oh, are you going to watch the fight this weekend between Ife Ajagba and Stephen Shaw? I don't know. Is it convenient? Yeah, all you got to do is all you got to do is get on ESPN. It's on ESPN. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do is turn on ESPN. Yes. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll watch a little of it. Maybe I'll have it in the background, Which fight's going to, I'll watch the Shushu Carrington fight. Probably not going to watch the rest of that, though. Okay? Now, are you going to watch the Gervonta Davis fight? You know what I get? Hey, man, how much is it going to cost? Can I get a link? There any free links out there? Either can I get a link, free link, so you're willing to break the law to get it and risk a bunch of malware on your computer. Hey, Sosa said, hey, you cooking the sheed this morning, bro. Thank you, brother. Much love in that super chat, brother. You don't know if people want to watch that fight or not. So when you say, oh, it only did 250,000 pay-per-view. Yeah, that's 250,000 people that went out of their way to pay money to watch it. That is 250,000 people that came off $80 to watch the fight. And it did a $5 million gate, which means there was 19,000 people that were willing to come off over $100 and some as much as 6,000 to be there, not including their airplane tickets, their hotels, the food, all of that. They made a mini vacation out of going to that fight. But Tank is the problem. Not your fights that people only watch because they're convenient. They're the problem. You're not the problem. What world does that, in what other world do people think that is real? In what other world do people think that's real? Where you literally got guys that are doing nothing but earning money. And the problem is the guys that are spending money on fights I don't care about, because I have an ESPN subscription. I have an ESPN Plus subscription. I have a DAZN subscription. And you all are making a bunch of crappy fights that I will half watch, but I have to pay for because I want to watch some of the other things on your network. But these guys are giving me the choice about whether or not I'm going to watch one or not watch one. So if I want that, I only pay for what I want. You all make me pay for a bunch of crap I could care less about. And they're the problem, not you. As they like to say, make it make sense. You all are out here talking about how I need to be watching, support the black man by watching Terrence Crawford and David Abination. No, I don't want to see that fight. I didn't ask for that fight. Nobody asked for that fight, but there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with Errol if Terrence gives you that. What sense does that make? It's Errol's fault that Terrence Crawford sold you something you never asked for and didn't want. But it's Errol's fault that he did it. But it's Errol's fault. You're liars and con men. Let me put this very bluntly. You're liars and con men. You're liars and con men. You're liars and con men. If something is on pay-per-view, I either pay for it or I don't. Doesn't cost me anything for a fight I don't want to see. I have an ESPN subscription. I pay money for every one of those ESPN fights that comes out of my pocket. I have a DAZN subscription. Every one of them trash fights I don't want to see, I pay for. I have to pay for that crap in advance. I pay for all the ESPN crap fights in advance, and I pay for all of the DAZN crap fights in advance. Oh, I don't pay for any of those pay-per-views in advance, and I only pay for the ones that I want to see. But for some reason, the people that are only giving you and making you pay for things that you actually want to see are the problems, and not the ones that are taking your money each and every month for nothing. They're not the problem. Huh? Timothy, Andre, how you get out of that? How y'all get out of that one? You don't. You don't. Because that's the thing with the budget. You all are on salary. You all are on salary. These guys are actually earning it. So, but Gervonta. But it's all Gervonta's fault. It's all Gervonta's fault. It's all Errol's fault. It's Al Heyman's fault. Man, please. BLK Prime ain't even black, bro. Anyway, like I said, I knew today I was going to go in on y'all for a while, bro. Because you guys are some scam artists, bro. Okay? You're scamming. Scamming. Because you actually cost, I bet you actually cost boxing fans more money than Showtime does. I bet you people waste more money on ESPN and DAZN than they do on the PBC. Because if you don't buy it, you didn't waste nothing. You don't need a Showtime subscription to get the pay-per-views, none of that. But if you have an ESPN Plus subscription or an ESPN subscription and a DAZN subscription, and you pay for the whole year and they give you one fight, it costs $200 for a subscription. $200 for a subscription for a year to DAZN, and they give you one fight. That means that is a $200 pay-per-view that they split up through a bunch of garbage you didn't want to see. Oh, yeah, Fanon going in today. Yes, sir. I am, for sure I am. Much love in that super chat, bro. Coach Derek James broke it down for them. Oh, he broke that down, that they're salaried. But I'm looking at it in a different language. I'm sorry, hold on. I'm bringing it down from a different angle. Bad news in the building said, oh, yeah, Fanon going in today. Thank you, brother. And thank you for putting color in the chat. Because usually we don't get a lot of support when I go in. So consider this, a little bit of a favor. Because you guys are ridiculous, man. Y'all are ridiculous. I pay for fights. I buy the pay-per-views. I buy the DAZN. I pay ESPN. And I know I pay over $200, DAZN. I pay over $200 a year for DAZN, and I may get one, maybe two fights the entire year that I want to see, that I really want to see. ESPN, when is it coming? May? And they're going to try to put that on pay-per-view. They want to put Lomachenko and Haney on pay-per-view. Why? Nothing exciting about that fight, bro. The only thing about that fight is whether or not is who's going to win. That's it. That's it. It's not a 50-50 fight. It's not a must-see fight. It's not. Lomachenko looked like crap in his last fight. Won a couple, lost a fight the fight before. And the one fight y'all got over there, you won't give. DC Dre said, just showing support. Thank you, brother. Means a lot, man. Now, BLK Prime, $35 a month for that garbage. Exactly. But you're going to blame these guys as if you're not pay-per-view. You are pay-per-view too. You just milk it. You just milk it in a different fashion. Anyway. Loma lost his last fight, and they don't want to talk about that. Look, man, all I know is this, and I'm going to get back to this again. I'm going to say this as directly as I can. You all are blaming the people that are actually doing something that was working. You are blaming the people that are actually giving boxing fans what they want. I don't know anybody that was upset with paying for the Gervonta Davis versus Hector Garcia fight. Nobody. I don't know anybody that's upset with it. Meanwhile, you got boxing media who are definitely also covering the MMA who have a vested interest in ruining the reputation of boxing. Because that network also has MMA on there, has the UFC on ESPN. And you got guys like what's that dude's name? Marcus Villegas. What's wrong with boxing? What's wrong with boxing? Dude, you're wrong with boxing, bro. You all are wrong with boxing. You all are putting a bunch of fights on that suck. A bunch of them. A grip of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put on fights that don't nobody want to see every weekend. Every week. Every other week. When is the last fight card you put somebody wanted to see? For real. Oh, man, we got the Navarrete We got Navarrete versus Isaac Dogbay coming up. We got Navarrete versus Isaac Dogbay. Oh, yeah. That's what's up. Navarrete fighting to Isaac Dogbay. No, fight of the year candidate. Who's the best pound for pound fighter in the world? Oh, it's a Japanese dude that never fights in the United States and is fighting against guys we've never heard of. Oh, we got Inoue fighting Jose Luis. Who gives a damn? Coming up, that's the best fighter in the world. Eric Novella, I wish HBO was still involved in boxing. Sad fan. Hey, man, they're the ones that started off the trend. Eric Novilla. They did. They were doing the same thing. Yeah, I heard Tim Bradley doing that, man. Man, I hope don't nobody accuse you of nothing, bro. Ivan Redcash tweeting like the Adrian Bronner fight is not happening. What you talking about for real? Hold on, man. Hold on. Oh, wow. That is wild, bro. That's wild. Hey, good morning, Rachel. Or Nonito, whichever one is there. What's going on, brother? Nonito, Rachel. Gotta say what's up to both of y'all at the same time when y'all on that channel. I gotta remember both of you guys watch. Man, that's a nice married couple right there, man. He didn't say that. He did not say that, Chris Brooks. He did not say there's no Ryan Tate. No, he did not say that. That is not true, bro. That's not true. He did not say that. Hey, Tyrus Pierce said, shout out to you, OG. You on fire today. Yeah, man. It's like, it is what it is, man. Like, it's amazing to me, man, that people are just so like, are you like, you blame people for their success. The things that are actually going in right in boxing are the things that get the most criticism. You think they should if they do not use pay-per-view, then they have to work off of a budget and give people a ton of fights that they don't want to see because they're operating off of a budget. Instead of being in a situation where they have to sell tickets and the fighters have to actually fight the best fighters in order to get a payday, which is not what they're doing at ESPN. It's not what they're doing in the zone. They've got a guy they've got a Russian billionaire that is funding the zone and funding the fights and giving people next to nothing that they want to see. But they're giving you content and the promoters are making money. The promoters are making the money off the difference between what the network's budget is and how much they pay the fighter, which will naturally lead you into not making very big fights. Why would you? Their ratings suck. They literally getting they're getting 900,000 people watching boxing matches on ESPN. ESPN is the biggest sports network in the world. And they're doing 900,000 people watching fights on their network. Dude, I don't want to see those fights. I don't want to see them. I mean, for real. Dude, I'd be like feeling so guilty because it'll be like, 11 o'clock at night. I do an 8 o'clock. I get up and work at like 7 o'clock in the morning every day. And there are people, I'm telling you, there are people all over the country that do the same thing that I do. We get up every morning at like 7 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, and we work 7 days a week. I work 7 days a week, at least. Dude, I may truly take off in a year. I may truly take off 5 days in a year from work. Maybe 5 days in a year where I don't do any work. Maybe 5. And trust me, maybe 5, because usually it's not Christmas, not New Year's Eve, not Thanks. I work every day. And I start working early. So by the time I get around on a Saturday night to them starting their fight cards at 10:30, dude, if I have not literally set aside a period of my day to go to sleep, get rest, take a risk of sipping some coffee, dude, it's hard for me to watch these fights. So I'm really going to watch the fights that I really want to see, that either got really good prospects on them or really, really good fights. Everything else I got to try to catch. I got to catch early in the morning when I wake up and see if when I'm doing something else, I can watch the replay. Dude, there's so many people that go through that. So for you to tell me that you all are not the problem, putting boxing on your trash fights at 11:30 at 10, 11:30 at night, up against the NBA, up against the NFL, up against college football, where all these other people got these other things to watch, and you're throwing Navrati out there. And then you try to browbeat people into you're not a real boxing fan if you don't watch Navrati. Man, if you don't know Ioka, you don't even have Ioka on there. I'm going to Vargas Foster. Yeah, I got to buy my tickets, but I'm going. Yeah. I'm going to that fight. I'm actually going to go to that fight. Bad News 0213 said, true boxing fans appreciate that, Fanon. Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. It's like, come on, man. I don't have any problem staying up for a Gervonta Davis fight. None. My only thing is, even that is like, I got to make sure I get a nap. Much love in that super chat. Thank you, Bad News. Appreciate you, brother. He said, true boxing fans appreciate that, Fanon. Yeah. So don't sit up here trying to blame the guys who put on fights that people want to see while you're putting on a bunch of crap people can take. You're putting on a bunch of I can take it or leave it fights. You're the problem. It's not that we don't get the big fights. It's that we get so many garbage fights. So many garbage fights. ESPN puts on more garbage fights than the Zone. Who puts on the most trash? Let's look the other way. Who pays for more fights that nobody wants to see? Number one is the Zone. Because the Zone will put on 6 hours of why am I watching this? They will put on 6 hours of fight cards with fight after fight after fight after fight that I don't care about. Never heard of them, don't care about them, never heard of them, we'll never see them again. Man, this is seriously like I'm getting ready for the NBA game, but you're literally putting on junior high school basketball. I got to sit through 6 hours of junior high school basketball before I get to the Bulls game. And I got to pay for all of it. That's the Zone. ESPN, how many fights do you really want to see? If somebody from my chat does not say, Shushu's on this card. Okay, I'll watch Shushu. I'll watch Shushu Carrington. Okay, Xander Zayas is on this card. Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Oh, yeah, you want me to? Okay, I'll check him out. So you don't really care about the fight. You're just trying to look to see how this guy fights. So that when he gets in a bigger fight later down the road, you'll know what kind of fighter he is. You're not actually interested in the outcome of the fight. You're not actually interested in or wondering what's going to happen in the fight. You're not looking at a fight with Keyshawn Davis and wondering what's going to happen in the fight. He's going to win the fight. He's going to win the fight. That's what's going to happen. So instead of talking about, okay, how many of these big fights don't we get? How about you stop filling my day with garbage? How about you give me some good fights? Not even big fights. Good fights. Good fights like Jermell Charlo, Brian Castano. Good fights like Gervonta Davis versus Hector Garcia. How about good fights like Errol, Spence Jr., Keith Thurman? Or good fights like Terrence Crawford, God dog, who else? Like David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. How about good fights? How about just good ones? You ain't got to give me all the gigantic ones. Yeah, like Fundora Lubin. How about you give me week in and week out Foster Vargas? How about you give me week in and week out of good fights and stop complaining about the mega fights not taking place? Dude, we're only going to get 1 or 2 mega fights a year, tops. That's why they call them mega fights. But you're not even giving good ones. You're giving garbage, straight up garbage, and charging me for it every month. I go to my card, my bank account every month, and there's a charge for some garbage from ESPN. You're like a raggedy app that I paid for that I can't get rid of. I pay for Maximum Boxing. I pay for Maximum Boxing. I pay for that garbage. That garbage that I never watch, I pay for Maximum Boxing. Every fight that you guys have that you put on there, every event I pay for, whether I watch it or I don't. You are a walking bad investment. I am happy I paid. You know why? You know why I paid $80? Why I was happy to pay $80 for Gervonta Davis's fight? Because I could not afford the $4,000 that it would have cost me to watch it live. $4,000 that it would have cost me to watch it live. $2,000 for me to get my ticket, and $2,000 between my hotel, my airfare, and my food. And the cost that it would have cost me not to work during the time that I was doing all of that. So I said, oh, $80, shh, I'll pay the $80 so I ain't got to pay the $4,000. Right? You all are giving fights that I wouldn't pay for at all. At all. Man, Ife Agagbe and Sanchez could have been an hour away from me. And I am not getting in the car, driving out there, spending an hour to watch that fight, and then coming back an hour. Maybe I'd do that. No, I'll take that back. I would do that if it was an hour away from me, and I could drive and I could come back. And those tickets, ringside seats, better be $100. Better be $100. Coach Malik said, peace, Fanon. I have to give a super chat to one of my favorite boxing channels and fellow Chicagoans on my birthday. Keep telling the truth. Thank you, brother, for sure, man. Much love all day, bro. Much love all day. Thank you, brother. Thank you for that support, bro. And yeah, Terry's is just trolling. Aaron Mom said, big ups, Fanon. You're upsetting the pound for pound fans of the most feared boxers who never get called out by the best fighters. Man, you crushing today, bro. Much love to the channel, my man. Thank you, Aaron Muhammad. Yeah, dog, somebody got to say it. Because it's an orchestrated effort. I was like, man, I listened to what's this dude's name? Like, all of a sudden, they all start coming out with the same stuff. A week after Gervonta does it, you start complaining about how the big fights aren't going to be made. And guess what? Oscar De La Hoya is going to flunk a big fight, but they're going to blame Gervonta on it. And you got people out here saying, it's because the court's tanked. They're not going to do it because of the court date. Dude, people have known what that court date was, that knew what that court date was back months ago. Ever since the court date got moved in December, everybody knew the court date was in February. But you're just going to be out here saying, well, the reason is it's really on Tank because, Steven Espinoza is not going to send the contract because, man, y'all are just trying to tank those guys. And you've been trying to tank those guys because you guys suck. You suck. BLK Prime's sucked. That card on BLK Prime was the worst card I have ever seen in my life. It is literally the worst card I've ever seen in my life for $40. It wasn't worth 10. Wasn't worth $10. It was the worst card I have ever seen. The worst. The best production for the worst card that I've ever seen. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely. But I got to support that, right? Ugas is a C- fighter. Yeah, sure he is, bro. Jay Dillard, you could take Ugas 12 rounds? Yeah, okay. Sure you can. Once again, somebody not to be taken care of, not to be taken seriously, brother. You have a nice life, troll. He was perfectly fine when Errol was ducking him. He was perfectly fine when Errol was ducking him. Keith Thurman was perfectly fine when Errol was ducking him. Sean Porter was completely fine. Not Sean Porter. Keith Thurman was completely fine 2 weeks ago when he was ducking him. Oh, he's ducking Keith Thurman. He's ducking this dude. All because Terrence Crawford ducked him. And I'm saying duck him because that's exactly what he did. And y'all have to make excuses and blame Al Heyman. Ain't never heard a word Al Heyman said in it. Do not know what he sounds like. Do not even know what the man sounds like. But I'm missing it. Nah, brother, I didn't miss it, bro. No, bro, I didn't miss it. I ain't miss it. I see it. Terrence Crawford said no to that fight. That's what I know. He said no to that fight and went on and fought David Avanesyan in a fight nobody was asking for that did not materialize overnight in a mismatch nobody was asking for. But Errol's the problem, but it's Al Heyman's the problem. If Al Heyman is the problem about why the Terrence Crawford fight, the Errol Spence Jr. fight didn't happen, whose fault was it that the David Avanesyan fight did happen? Whose fault is it that fight did happen? Because that's not a 50-50 fight, Andre. That's not a 50-50 fight. That's not a competitive fight. That's not a big fight. It's not a competitive fight. Whose fault it is that did happen? So again, let's start. I'm going to start doing this and let's move off the fact that people are not making the really big fights and start talking about all of the trash fights that are being made. Whose fault is it that you just televised Ife Agbagbe versus Stephen Shaw? And I had to pay for that. That is an undercard's undercard. Whose fault is it that was on TV? Whose bright idea was it to put a fight on television that nobody asked for, nobody wanted, wound up being a big old jab fest that I fell asleep in round 8 because I was like, this is just going to be a jab fest, jab face. And I didn't fall asleep on purpose. I fell asleep honest. Whose fault is it that card took place? Whose fault is it that Tyson Fury that Tyson Fury, you said, I do. You wanted to see it. Whose fault is it that Tyson Fury just got done fighting Derek Chisora on ESPN? Whose fault is it that happened? Right? Oh, I know whose fault it is. It's Al Heyman's fault. Somehow that's Al Heyman's fault that you put on a fight that didn't nobody want to see. Right? And made people pay for it. Nobody has to pay for the Luis Ortiz versus what's that guy's name? Luis Ortiz versus Martin. What's the guy's name? Charles Martin. That's all facts. OG, you on today? Yes, sir, bro. Whose fault? I didn't have to pay for that. I voluntarily paid for that. All y'all crying about pay-per-views. All these things are on pay-per-view. You don't have to buy them. I want to complain about the things that I've already paid for that you're giving me that I don't want. You're milking the cow. They're not milking the cow. You're milking the cow because you're getting money on a budget, on an annual budget, out of millions and millions of sports fans are feeding your budget, and you're giving them garbage in exchange for the little bit of that money that's allocated to you. And then you spending the money to tear down fight and tear down boxing. I'm paying to listen to that nonsense that comes out of Max Kellerman's mouth. Now, trolls, am I lying? Somebody tell me, put a 1 in the chat if you have a ESPN Plus, if you have an ESPN membership that you don't have to pay for. Somebody put a 1 in the chat if you have a DAZN or a ESPN fight that you do not have to pay for. There shall be no ones in this. You will not hear a single solitary one. If we stop paying, they will stop fighting. No, watch this. You have to pay, Jay. You know why you have to? Nah, Yahweh, you don't get it for free. Nah, Yahweh, you don't pay it for free. No, they would have to stop NFL. They would have to stop the NBA. They are taking the change. They are taking the chump change. They are taking chump change from what we pay to see LeBron James play. And they're spending it on a bunch of fights that nobody cares about. Because, hey, at least they have it. Because, you know what? Because they are basically a development. They're like a D League. They're like the D League. Hey, man, you can see all these fighters fight. And then maybe one day they'll pop out and give you a really big fight that you want to see. That's what it is. And then they come up with their list where they tell you all of our fighters are the best. Who are the pound for pound? A bunch of people that fight on our network. Hey, $21 a month for DAZN and $12.99 for ESPN Plus. There you go. They're the D League. They're a developmental league. They're a boxing's developmental league. They are going to be in a bunch of fights where you know who's going to win all the way up until they get to like 33 fights. Unless they screw up and lose a game unexpectedly. Unless they screw up and accidentally lose something or they want to get them beat. That's what you're going through. You're not going to get anything and I'm telling you, you're not going to get anything like Gary Antoine Russell versus Victor Postol. You're not going to get that fight over there. You're not going to get a Gervonta Davis versus Hector Garcia fight. As much as you want to say, oh, well, Hector Garcia did not get to be a mismatch until the fight was over. That's what they are. They're a developmental squad. How many fights have you seen Keyshawn Davis fight? Put a number in the chat for how many fights you've seen Keyshawn Davis fight. I know I've seen Keyshawn Davis fight at least 4 times. What's Keyshawn Davis got, like 7, 8 fights? Something like that. 4 fights, right? You've seen him fight on television 4 times. So you've paid to see him fight 4 times. Do you realize that you have paid to see him fight 4 times? Paid to see him fight 4 times. Four times. Have you seen him fight anybody that you wanted to see him fight? I didn't have to watch Frank Martin. Frank Martin, I have started watching Frank Martin when Frank Martin gave me fights I wanted to see. He's not giving you one. I'm pretty sure Frank Martin probably had 10 fights before it was ever televised. He probably had 10 fights before he was televised. Keyshawn Davis was televised probably from his second fight on. Developmental fights. Why do people hate on the PBC? Some of them hate on them because they're successful. And they've been wanting these guys to go broke for a long time, and guess what? They found a way not to go broke. And because the model works. The model works. The fighters do not complain. And if Adrian Bronner does not get a fight, Chris Allen said, Fanon, who pissed you off this early? Oh, Tim Bradley did. Tim Bradley did. That was just very, very disappointing, man. It's very disappointing. And also people out here lying again, saying that Steven Espinoza said the Tank fight's not going to happen. They're not going to send a contract until after the date. Man, stop it. Just spreading misinformation, bro. Purposely spreading misinformation. And it gets old. Dude, a sensational title is one thing. I can understand that. But just spreading misinformation, man, that's ridiculous. That man blatantly did not say that. He blatantly said the opposite. He said that's not true. Not true. Look, Bradley can be as butthurt as Bradley want to be, bro. All I'm saying, if somebody asked me it was disappointing to me, man. It's disappointing. Also, you Devin Haney fans are disappointing to me because I just saw a report that said that Bill Haney said that they will not fight Shakur Stevenson until 140, maybe 147 pounds. So I know you guys are going to call this man a duck. I know you're going to call him a duck, right? I know you're going to call him a duck. Because he's at 135 right now. Shakur's at 135 right now. And he's saying that he can fight. He's saying that he can fight Gervonta at 135. If he can fight Gervonta at 135, he can fight Shakur at 135. So that should be a duck. Shouldn't it? Shouldn't it? Shouldn't that be a duck? Sounds like if Espinoza is worried the contract is put in place and guaranteed money's involved, they might lose. That's not true, J Love. That's not true. Jeez, that's not true. J Love, that's not true. He did not say that. He said that was not true. Somebody else said it. Somebody else said it, and Steven Espinoza said that's not true. That's Bill's prerogative. That means it's a duck. It's anybody's. If it's a duck, it's a duck. It's a duck. according to everybody else that they said duck Devin Haney. Gervonta Davis is ducking Devin Haney because he said, I'll fight y'all after I get done with these 2 fights that I have. That's a duck. But Devin Haney can say he's not going to fight Shakur until he gets to 147 or 140, and that's not one. Lomachenko's ducking Devin Haney. If he doesn't fight in March, he fights in May. He's avoiding him. But Devin can say he's going to fight somebody at 147, and that's not. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all hit the like button, man, because I know there's not a lot of, can y'all get the likes over 500? Let them know, bro. Just let them know. Thanks, John Boy. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I missed the super chat. I don't think I did. Yeah, ain't much super chats in here today. I appreciate you, bro. He didn't say they didn't say they will ever fight him, so it's not a duck. Yes, it is. Yes, he did say he would fight him. He didn't say they will never fight him. That's not a duck. Really? It's not a duck unless you say you'll never fight him. Then said, Lomachenko never ducked Devin. Gervonta Davis never ducked Devin. Ryan Garcia never ducked Devin. And Teofimo Lopez never ducked Devin then, right? Said. Right? Said 214. That means Devin has never been ducked. Thank you, said. I appreciate that. For you admitting that nobody has ever ducked Devin Haney. Ever. Because nobody said they would never fight him. Right? Right? I'm waiting. Agreed on all 4 of those? What do you mean agreed on all 4 of those? I don't even know what that means. You agreed on all 4 what? So none of them ever ducked him? Then okay, cool. As long as you say nobody ever ducked Devin, and then fine. If you say that's not a duck, fine. I don't have a problem because you're being consistent. As long as you say Gervonta never ducked Devin, Ryan Garcia never ducked Devin, Teofimo Lopez never ducked Devin, no, Vasily Lomachenko never ducked Devin. As long as you say none of those people ducked, and then you say, so he didn't duck Shakur, hey, I can't make no argument about that because you're consistent. You're consistent. You're consistent. To me, ducking is if you never have the intention. Yeah, that's too loose. That's way too loose. That's way too loose. That's way too loose. That means you're never going to duck until somebody, you can't say somebody ducked them until they retired. That's a little loose for me. But anyway, but at very least, hold up, man, stop. Hold up, man, stop. Yeah, the great hold up, man, stop, bro. Powerhouse Watson said, Teo ducked Haney because Haney was capping about their sparring. Haney pulled up and said we can fight with no belts. Teo during the fight. How can Teo? He already had a fight scheduled. But anyway, I don't want to keep talking about Devin Haney, bro. Like I said, I'm not going to keep doing that. I only bring that stuff up for illustration. That's it. I only bring that up for illustration. Hey, Fanon, he knew he effed up by saying that. Yeah, I have a suspicion. I have a suspicion he changed his point of view on that. But I'll take it. As long as you change your position, I'm okay. As long as you're being consistent, I don't have a problem, bro. But if you're saying that he needs to fight, Gervonta Davis, Gervonta needs to fight him, but he don't need to fight Shakur. If he can fight Gervonta, but he can't fight Shakur, dog, if you say that, you got to leave Gervonta Davis' name out your mouth because there literally is no difference between the two. Yeah, says smiling. I know. I know. I know. That's okay, bro. But I'm telling you, man, I done told you, man, these arguments suck. I've told y'all for a long time, man, these arguments that you guys make they suck. Okay? The PBC is the problem because all their fights are on pay-per-view. Ignores and they're holding up big fights. Completely ignores that the opposite is true, which is that I'm paying for all of your fights and ain't none of them even good. You don't want to pay for a big fight that's not happening. Well, listen to this. You're complaining about not paying for a big fight that doesn't happen and ignoring the fact that you are paying for a bunch of garbage fights that you don't want. They're literally pointing over there. They're literally pointing over there saying, see what you're not getting, see what you're not getting. They're not giving you lobster. They're going to charge you all that money for that lobster. They're going to charge you all that money for that steak. Meanwhile, they're charging you to eat gruel. They're charging you to eat rotten bologna sandwiches. You're paying for rotten bologna sandwiches every month, but they're pointing to you about, look at they're not giving you. Dog, it's a con job. It's a con job. It's a con job, bro. I'm with you when you write, but I'm with you when you write, but they want that tank shine. Yeah, of course they do. They are. They're giving you that rotten bologna gruel over there at ESPN that you're paying for and pointing the fingers at what the other guys aren't doing. Oh, my God. I mean, everything's on pay-per-view. Dude, you're on pay-per-view. You're just taking my money out every month. You're not free. Ain't nothing free about ESPN. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing is free about ESPN. Nothing is free about DAZN. The only one that's free is Fox. So you are literally charging me for nothing. Nothing. Even BLK Prime. That's $40 for nothing. Garbage. Garbage. You're charging me $40 for garbage. Garbage. Free on the stick. Look, I'm not talking about the stick. Y'all some thieving. Y'all just stealing everybody's stuff. That's everybody's. Y'all stealing everybody's stuff. Hey, look, said then keep Gervonta Davis's name out your mouth. Keep Gervonta Davis's name out your mouth then. If you can't make the weight, skate. If you can't make the weight, skate. And go fight Regis Prograis. And don't duck Regis Prograis. Because Regis Prograis said he wants to smoke. And since Regis Prograis says he wants to smoke, then you got to fight him or you're ducking him. I'm telling you, Devin made a bed, he's got a lie in it. Devin made a bed and he got a lie in it. No joke. All of that stuff, you made your bed, you got a lie in it. Serious as a heart attack, Shakur stops Devin. I don't know if he stops him or not, but he ain't going to fight him. He said, I'm a Gervonta Davis fan. Okay. That may be why you agreed. Both of them cost money. That's all they're paying for, all that stuff. But then they got enough nerve to talk about pay-per-views. Overall, where you only pay for the fight if you want to see it. It's a con job, man. Wilbur Rogers said, Fanon, you got that right. They call me about changing my plan every other month. Exactly. New terms and conditions. New terms and conditions. You're paying these guys every month and they're giving you nothing. Meanwhile, they're pointing the finger at the people that are only charge you if it's something that you want. They literally got their hand in your pocket every month. And they don't think they're pay-per-view. I can't view it if I don't pay. Right? And I got to pay, of all things I got to pay for, I got to pay for Max on Boxing. You literally have to pay for Max on Boxing, even to watch the fights that you don't want to see. Like you can't make this up. These guys are con men. All of them. Con men. From a boxing point of view, big names versus interviews only get my big names versus big names only get my money. That's not true if you got ESPN. That's not true if you got DAZN at all. That's not true. Matter of fact, you pay for boxing even if you don't want to watch boxing on ESPN. You pay for boxing even if you don't want to see, even if you don't like boxing. My next door neighbor is paying for those fights. That's the biggest con job there is over there at ESPN. Max on Boxing is also accused of domestic violence, but somehow Bradley don't care. Oh, nothing to say about it. Didn't hear him call. Has he been on a Max on Boxing to call Max on Boxing a piece of crap human being? Hey, Fanon, pour up. You on one today. Thank you, brother. But look, man, thank you to everybody that supports in the Super Chat and the Cash Apps. To all y'all haters that are freeloading out here, hit the like button. If you ain't hit the like button or support of the channel, you're a freeloader, and y'all can kiss my behind. So at least hit the like button, man. Share the video, do something. You know what I'm saying? Because on the real, I've given you a bunch of arguments that you're going to steal now. You're gonna take my argument and steal it. Because nobody that I've heard has flipped it on his head like that. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Nobody, you're going to take my argument and go act like you thought about it. You're going to flip it and act like you thought about this. So at least hit the like button. Believe it. Because I know you listen, which is another thing that really pisses me off. Ticks me off. When I actually hear somebody make my argument on a mainstream network and then use it as a way to denigrate somebody that is the only one doing the work. They steal our logic for their guys weak. They do. Absolutely, positively do. I've heard it. 50-50 fights. When have we seen somebody in a 50-50 fight? I said that for at least 3 weeks straight. And all of a sudden now y'all are out here talking about when are we going to see him in 50-50 fights? So now, do this one. Since you want to go ahead and blame, since you want to go ahead and blame cats, point the fingers at not making big fights, how about we point the finger at you and say you make garbage fights. You make garbage fights. And I have to pay for your garbage fights. I have to pay for you to talk garbage. I have to pay for Max Kellerman's garbage show. And I got to pay for Tim what is his name? Tim Bradley's to sit up there and act like a buffoon and jump up and down and scream, Errol's a duck, Errol's a duck, Errol's a duck. He's scared. I'm telling you right now. He's scared of Errol Spence. Errol Spence Jr. is scared of Terrence Crawford. That's why it's not going to happen, because he's scared. What about all that I paid for? What about all that I paid for? What about all of that shucking and jiving I paid for? I paid for it. It's my money. It came, and you're not giving me any fights that I want to see. But yet, the people, when I pay for fights that I want to see, they're the problem. The people that got all the fans and people interested in talking, they're the problem. But not your crap fights that nobody cares about. You know what a YouTube channel would do? I didn't say I'm 6'3". What you talking about? I never said I'm nobody's 6'3". I ain't 6'3". Alexandra Galan said, you raise a shop today. Subscription is pay-per-view. It absolutely is pay-per-view. Absolutely is pay-per-view. Absolutely. You know, it's not ABC back in the day was not pay-per-view. This is pay-per-view. You have to pay to watch it. And you're not giving me anything that I want to see. But praising fighters that are, oh, well, you know, he's a pound for pound guy on my list. I never have DK. I never have decaf. Said. I never have decaf. There's no purpose in decaf. That's like smoking CBD. That's like CBD. What's the purpose? That's why I never smoke cigarettes. There's no purpose. Like, no purpose for what? What is this doing? But what is this but tasting bad? What is this doing but tasting bad and tasting me bad and killing my lungs? There's literally no point in it, bro. Albert Christian. Hey, Christian Albert, thank you, brother. Brother, for 9. Do you think Loma fights Devin? Yeah. If so, will they fight in New York? Whatever Bob says is where they're going to fight. Probably in the Hulu Ballroom at the Garden. And if so, isn't that showing Loma being the A side, even if Devin has the belts? Also keep pushing, pour up. Thank you, brother. Well, let me go one at a time, brother, for somebody that actually supports the channel, brother. Thank you so much, Christian Albert, for your support, bro. Thank you so much, bro. Loma, I don't know if there is an A side to that. I don't know if there is an A side to either one of those. Oh, either one of those guys. Lomachenko does better numbers than Devin does. Historically speaking, Devin is not known, bro. Devin is not a big name. He's not a commercially profitable fighter. There you go. I'll say that. He's not a profitable fighter. He himself makes a lot of money, but his fights are not, it's not profit. He's not a cash cow. He does not generate money. He costs money. He doesn't generate money. Same thing with Lomachenko. Lomachenko doesn't generate money. He costs money. There are no fighters over there at ESPN save Tyson Fury when he fought Deontay Wilder that actually generate any money. They cost money. So I don't even know if there is an A side. They're basically part of the budget. It depends on what Bob Arum wants to do and how much money Bob Arum wants to, what Bob Arum wants to do. If Bob Arum thinks that Devin is worth that much, then that's how much he's worth to Bob Arum. If Bob Arum thinks that Lomachenko's worth more, then who the A side is on those cards are dependent upon the value system of Top Rank. Nothing, not on who's actually going to buy the fights. Because like I said, they're paying for that out of the pockets of people that already have subscribed to ESPN and ESPN Plus for other things. I'm not laughing at Hulu Ballroom. Isn't the MGM Grand? Isn't that where the Hulu Ballroom is? It's probably going to fight in the Hulu Ballroom. They're going to fight in the ballroom. It's not going to be, I'm going to tell you where it's not going to be. It's not going to be in the big one. It's not going to be where the Knicks play. They not about to fight where the Knicks play. Then it's not going to be at the Barclay. It ain't about to be at the Barclay. Are you going? Let me ask you a question. Are you going? Are you literally doing any research to figure out exactly how you can get tickets to the Lomachenko Devin Haney fight? Are you? No, you're not. None of y'all are figuring out, okay, when am I going to get there? How am I going to get the tickets? Man, can I afford it? None of that. Doesn't DAZN make you pay extra fees for pay-per-views too? Yes, because they cut their budget. Fanan, if you want to continue this conversation, we are going live after you. Need to get you on one day when you can. Oh, for sure. But like I said, I gotta work, man. I gotta wake. Hey, I'm buying Devin's pay-per-view from home. I can only go to Spence fights. Hey, I'm not buying that pay-per-view. That thing ain't gonna be on pay-per-view, bro. I'll be shocked, bro. You say, hey, Rick Tim said, facts for now, cigarettes are trash and foolish. Yeah, it's like they don't do anything for you. Like, they don't do anything good for you. Like, you may have thought you were looking cool at a point in time. You know what I mean? But that's not anything really. You know what I mean? Like, so May 20th in Saudi is where I heard. Well, there you go. If they're going to Saudi, man, they're not going to Saudi Arabia. They trying to convince him to go to Saudi Arabia. Why would they take that fight to Saudi Arabia, man? Like, dude, you are definitely not a draw if you can't fight in the country. Like, you just looking for somebody to lose more money. Hey, man. Hey, man. Now watch. Watch this. Anytime that you hear somebody say, we want to take the fight to Saudi Arabia, what that means is they're looking for somebody that is willing to lose a lot of money on a fight. That is what that means. I am looking to find somebody that is willing to lose a dumb amount of money. Because to go to Saudi Arabia, you are literally going just trying to go find some trillionaires, because those Saudis are trillionaires. Okay? They're a family, right? They got a royal family, and all of the members are billionaires, which means more than likely they're all trillionaires. So anyway, they're trying to go find some people that are willing to just throw away a lot of money so that they have somebody come way over there to fight, see them in a desert. So even the fact that they would go over there just tells you you're just looking for somebody to lose money. You're not good for boxing. That's not good for boxing. We can't get American fans to support it because they don't want it. American fans don't want it. So let's go over there and fight somebody in front of 30 or let's go fight in front of a crowd of like 1,500 people that are willing to pay ridiculous amount of money for it. How does that help grow the sport of boxing? Unless you think that you're going to be sprouting Saudi billionaires all across the world. Right? Floyd can go over there to an exhibition fight, but guess what? If Floyd took a real fight, Floyd would not take Manny Pacquiao, would not take the Manny Pacquiao fight to Saudi Arabia. But that's growing the sport though, right? That's growing the sport, right? To go fight in a tent in the middle of a dust storm in front of some Arabian trillionaires. How is that growing the sport? It's not. It's shrinking the sport. It does the exact opposite of growing the sport. It shrinks the sport. Take, for example, Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua was fighting in the UK in front of 180, 90,000 people. What did he do? They went over to Saudi Arabia and they shrunk the sport. Now, all of those boxing fans that would have been there singing Sweet Caroline, none of them get to sing Sweet Caroline. None of them. They all sit at home and maybe buy it on pay-per-view or something. It didn't grow the popularity of the sport because the fighters aren't there for more people to see. Right? You gotta wonder about, you don't have to wonder, you know what this is. People start with the logic that they want. They start with the things that they want to be true. You go to Saudi Arabia, you're proving you can't sell tickets in the US. That's all that is. You're not Muhammad Ali, partner. Okay? You're not selling out stadiums. You're not going to sell out a stadium in Zaire. You're not Ali. You're not going to be selling out stadiums in the Philippines. You're not going to go to the middle of Manila and get the entire damn country, the whole country to come and watch you fight. You're not going to see that. Okay? You're not going to do that. You're not Ali. Ali can go do that. He could go, oh, where you want to fight? Well, I'm going to go to Australia. Why? Because there's going to be 60,000 people that are going to come see me fight in Australia. That's why. I'm growing the sport. Why? Because, hey, you got a stadium, I'll fill it up. Put some of your local fighters on there and I'll fill it up. And I don't need a government subsidy to do it. Don't need one. You're not Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson can go to the Philippines and say, hey, let's throw a concert in the Philippines. Hey, I'm going to go to the UK. Let's fill up Wembley. Devin Haney cannot do that, or Lomachenko. So if he's talking about doing that, he's talking about doing that so that they can get a few people that want to be in there and have and entertain themselves by watching some people punch themselves in the face and get some good publicity for it. Yeah, I know it is. I know it's called sports washing. That's what they can do. Bro, stop what, Candido? There's nothing but truth coming out of this. Everything that I said is true. It's a fact. It's a fact. Please tell me the last American fighter to headline in the UK. Let me know who that is. Who was the last American fighter to go over to the UK and headline at Wembley Stadium? Headline at Wembley Stadium. I only know of one. No, to headline at Wembley Stadium. Errol Spence Jr. went over to the UK and fought Kell Brook at the O2. And Kell Brook was the headliner. No. The last one that I know of is Muhammad Ali. It was Muhammad Ali. Is the last one that I know of. There was a United States, from the United States, to go to the UK and headline at Wembley Stadium. They did not fight at Wembley Stadium. And she was not the headliner. She was a co-headliner with Savannah Marshall. But I don't think they did not sell out Wembley Stadium, partner. Clarissa Shields did not sell out Wembley Stadium. Ali sold out Wembley Stadium twice. No. Floyd Mayweather versus Henry Cooper. Ali versus Henry Cooper, who was the B-side to Cassius Clay in the first one, and the B-side to Muhammad Ali in the second. Henry Cooper. And Ali headlined that. Thank you very much. And you must not be much of a boxing fan if you don't know that. Okay, there you go. True. What are you trying to check me, bro? You got to get out of here, bro. What do you mean true? I know. That's why I said it. Hey, cash cows get paid like cash cows. PBC offered Canelo $50 million guaranteed for 2 fights. That's a cash cow. Yeah, he is. And anybody saying Canelo Alvarez isn't a cash cow is lying, because he is. Now Gervonta is not nearly the cash cow that Canelo is. However, dude, he is very, very much heading that way. Who's the number one boxer? I know. What are you talking about? Who's the number one boxer? The biggest name in boxing fighting right now is Canelo Alvarez. Number 2 is either Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford. Errol Spence or Gervonta Davis. It may be Tyson Fury. I think Anthony Joshua slipped. He said, I rewatched your Charlo and Press. It was hilarious. Fight Tank, he is stud. And I'm trying to tell you, that's what he needed to do. He needed to be quiet, stay humble, take a little less money, and fight Gervonta Davis. He is stud. That's what he needed to do. Just humble yourself. Humble yourself and fight Tank. Look, bro, Gervonta, he just had $1 million gate at the Barclays Center. I don't know what Gervonta, he is stud. The biggest money makers are Canelo, Errol, Spence, Wilder, Tank, and not Charlo. You gotta throw Fury in there. And Joshua. Fury and Joshua. You gotta throw Fury and Joshua in there, because you have to include anybody that can come close to selling out Wembley. Because that means they can get a $5 to $6 million gate. They can do a $5 to $6 million gate. Their pay-per-view, on the other hand, is not like that. So, for example, Tyson Fury's last fight probably did not generate as much money as Gervonta Davis's just did, because they said he did 500,000 pay-per-views in the UK. That's $25 a pop, bro. That's $25. That's $25 a pop. So at $25 a pop, not gonna happen, bro. No, you're not gonna out, not at $25 a pop. So we get the calculator. Time for the calculator. Time for the calculator. So Tyson Fury did 500,000 pay-per-view in the UK against Derek Chisora. Times, and Derek Chisora is a big name, by the way. So Derek against Derek Chisora, and Derek Chisora is a big name in the UK, and he did 500K times $25. That's $12.5 million plus say, let's give him a $3 million gate. That's $15 million. It probably did less than Gervonta's. So Gervonta's probably a bigger cash cow than Tyson Fury is, based off his fight with Derek Chisora. And I suspect so is Errol Spence Jr. They're both bigger than Terrence Crawford, bigger than Tyson Fury. So you're talking about Canelo, maybe Joshua. Nah, I think Joshua's just as big, if not bigger, than Tyson Fury. But neither one of them really, because one lost and the other just did 500,000 pay-per-views in the UK. And I don't think he sold out Wembley. I think there was a lot of space open. Yeah, so he did a 5.1 because of the ticket prices. So he does a $5.1 million gate. He does a $5.1 million gate. And he does say he does $20 million in pay-per-view. That means that Gervonta Davis is probably he's either the second or the third big draw in boxing. And Errol Spence Jr. is either the second or the third biggest draw in boxing. So I want to know why the two biggest names in American boxing are the problem, and not the guys that cannot draw flies to a garbage can. That seems amazing to me. If you name the American, so let's go through the American fighters that Top Rank has. Who are the American fighters or all of the fighters that are exclusively with Top Rank? Because Tyson Fury is not really a Top Rank fighter. He's really Frank Warren's fighter, who has a co-promotional deal in the United States. So you have Vasily Lomachenko is not anywhere near one of the top draw in boxing. Devin Haney is nowhere near the top draw in boxing. Shakur Stevenson is not near the top draw in boxing. Monster Inoue is not near the top draw in boxing, and he's in Japan, again, on another co-promotional deal. You also have, who else is over there? You've got Ife Ajagbe. Ife Ajagbe just headlined the card. He's nowhere near it. You have, who else is over there? Robesi Ramirez. He doesn't, not him. Oscar Valdez, not him. Navrati, not him. Artur Beterbiev, not him. Who? Where is Devin Haney's compared to Garcia? What Garcia? I don't even know. Really? You talking about Ryan Garcia? About a third of it, from what I know. What Ryan Garcia did, sold 14,000 tickets at the Staples Center, at the former Staples Center. Did $1 million gate. I don't know, a third of that. I don't think Devin's ever done a $200,000 gate. I don't know. I think Ryan may be in the green, depending on how much money they pay him. He may be in the green, but even Ryan Garcia is probably costing money, depending on how much money he made, because he's not selling any pay-per-views. He's not selling any pay-per-views. But what he is doing is he's getting a gate, and his gate is like $1.2 million. So he makes a $1.2 million gate. I don't know, say they keep $900,000 of that. If he is making $2 million, he's losing money. And he's on the teat of the zone. So he's losing money. He once again is a cost. And if he loses, he's not going to Oscar De La Hoya is not going to get that money anymore. So it's just a real interesting situation all the way around, bro. None of those guys are making money for fighters. But at the same time, they find a way to always point the finger at the guys that are. I mean, like, for real. They are like the little snot-nosed complainers across the street standing over there by themselves with megaphones. They yelling across the street at everybody. Right? All you do is talk about the PBC. Bro, if I talk about what people want to talk about, that's all you're going to talk about. Because that's all American – those are the only fighters and fights that American boxing fans really care about. Unfortunate for y'all. Unfortunately for you, it's just what it is. People want to talk about Gervonta Davis. They want to talk about Errol Spence. They want to talk about Jermell. They want to talk – that's what people want to talk about. There are no fights being made on ESPN. Say this Monster Inoue biz is just heartburn for me. I mean, Monster Inoue is wishful thinking. It's wishful thinking. Donald Destruction. There is no way Errol sells more than Tyson Fury. Come on, bro. Used to keep it abundant. Really? Donald Destruction. Let's do the math. Let's do the math. Let's do the math. Errol Spence Jr. sold 250,000 pay-per-views times $80. Excuse me. 250,000 pay-per-views times $80 equals $20 million. He did a $4 million gate plus $4 million equals $24 million. You with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Yes or no? Put a 1 in the chat if my math is right. Put a number 1 in the chat if my math is right. I need for you to check the math, Donald Destruction. Why you about to get destroyed? My math is right. Now let's take Tyson Fury in his fight with Derek Chisora, which sold 500,000 UK pay-per-views. So let's go over here and say Tyson Fury versus Chisora pay-per-view cost. $26. 26 pounds. So let me convert that. 27 pounds. So we're going to do 27 pounds. That is $32. So $32. Back to the calculator. $32 times $500,000 times 32. That's $16 million. That means he is That means he is at 500,000, 12,000. Let me make sure I get it again. So that's 16,000. And you have 250,000 times 80. That means he outsold him by $4 million in pay-per-view. Now, let's go to the gate, where you have just add the $4 million gate and give Tyson Fury a $5 million gate. And you will see that that Errol Spence Jr. fight generated more money than Tyson Fury's last fight with Derek Chisora. Oops. And I did, by the way, I did 250,000 pay-per-views. What if Errol did 300,000 pay-per-views, which is more likely? 300,000 times 80 is 24 million. So slap another $4 million on the top of that, bro. He disappeared. Yes, I thought you would disappear, because it's much more expensive in the United States. Pay-per-views cost $80 here. They cost $30 in the UK. Also, your tickets are a lot cheaper to get into fights in the UK. G-Man, hold up, man. Stop. Fanan, I think you should break out the dry erase marker sometimes to help some of these people understand it and see it. Hey, it's hard on them, brother. I'm telling you, it's tough on them. Much love in that super chat. It's tough on them. It really is tough on them, bro. It's really tough on them. Now, take that and now watch this. What they always talk about is they talk about the cost. How much Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson and Vasily Lomachenko, how much they cost. Not how much money they earn, how much money they cost. Because their fights are not generating any revenue. So they have no incentive to make any good fights, because they're fighting on a budget, and they're getting their Top Rank gets paid. They are literally rewarded for not making fights. So you have a network that is rewarded only if they make a big fight. And then you got network full of fighters networks with promoters that are incentivized to not make big fights. But yet it is the network that is incentivized by their pay structure not to make big fights, are blaming the people who are actually out there who have an incentive in doing it. Come on, man. Let me say that really, really quietly for you. Okay? Let me say this slowly for you people out here who are a little bit slow. Top Rank is given a budget by ESPN, a set amount of money per year to make fights. They have fighters that they pay money to. If they have a budget, they get to keep a certain amount of money. Whatever money they don't pay to the fighters or pay for the venues, they get to keep on a fight-by-fight basis. Because why? There's a promotional fee in that. So is it their incentive to spend more on fights or less on fights? What would you do? If you have a $100 to spend, are you looking to try to, and you got $100 to put on a fight? The less the fight costs you, the more you keep. Are you looking for a fight that costs $99? No. You're looking for a fight that may cost $70 because it has to be acceptable to the network, but at the same time, you have to make a profit. So are you likely to get expensive fights? No, you're not. You may get a couple big name fighters who make a lot of money, but then you're going to get a lot of other fighters that don't, which is why you're trying to get, Spence, Ugas live gate was $5 million. Oh, so it's $5 million. Sorry. So he beats him in the gate. He beats him in the gate and beats him in the pay-per-view. So that's ESPN's model. Now, Showtime, on the other hand, only pays a little bit of money up front, and the fighters get paid based off the tickets that they sell, and the pay-per-view tickets that they sell. So they are actually incentivized to make better fights because they have to actually sell tickets. Because their money, they're not getting paid. They're getting paid off the tickets that they sell. So they have to actually give a fight that you want to see as a fight fan, because the fight fans pay for that directly. But it's the network that is literally incentivized not to make big fights that point the fingers at networks that are incentivized to make them, and then do their absolute best to drive down the value and the reputation of the other network. You never hear you never hear the PBC going out of their way to drag ESPN. Never. You never hear them sitting around having conversations. You never hear Steve Farhood, Abner Mares, Al Bernstein, and those guys sitting around together giving interviews, crapping on ESPN fighters. Never. What about Wilder recently? Recently, he made gigantic fights recently. 3 of his last 5 fights were huge money makers. He came back and did $1 million gate against somebody you never heard of, against somebody you never heard of in a comeback fight, and still did $1 million gate. Devin Haney couldn't do $1 million gate against Lomachenko. Watch this. Let's talk about Gervonta Davis. Let's talk about Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder just did bigger numbers than Terrence Crawford ever did in his whole career. And he did it coming off of back-to-back losses against Tyson Fury, against a guy nobody wanted to see or heard of him fight before. Didn't he? He did. He was in the Barclays Center. He filled the Barclays Center, did a $1.2 million gate in the Barclays Center against somebody whose name I don't even remember. I can see his face, don't see his name. And he did that coming off back-to-back losses against Tyson Fury. Guess who did not do that in his last fight as Robert Helenius? Thank you. He did better. He probably did 3 times the numbers Terrence Crawford did in his last fight against Robert Helenius. He did bigger numbers in his last fight than Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Ryan Garcia, or any of those guys have ever done in their career. Yeah, he did. Y'all run around and say, well, he did 77,000 pay-per-views. First of all, that's what Rick Glazier says. You can triple what Rick Glazier says. Without a doubt. You can at least double what he says. Okay? So give him 150, which seems reasonable. So at 150 at $80 a pop, let's bring out the calculator. 150 times 80. That's $12 million in pay-per-view. That's $13 million earned. Fight generated about $13 million. Now, guess what? That's what he gets paid out of. That's what he gets paid out of. $1 million guarantee. $1.5 million guarantee. And then you eat out of the rest of that, which means he may have brought in $5-6 million. I would suspect. He might have brought in somewhere because they get 90% of that, right? So times 0.9. Times 0.9 equals, and then say he gets 70% of that. Times 0.7. $7.5 million. So he probably made somewhere around $7.5 million plus his $1.5 million. So say $9 million. He didn't have a $5 million gate. He had like $1 million gate against Robert Elanius. He didn't have a $5 million gate, I don't think. Hold on. I can't see where they say it. But I thought his gate was like $1 million. I thought his gate was more like $1 million, bro. I don't think it was $5 million. I think if I recall it correctly, it's like 1.2 million. Yeah, you can. I mean, but even say if it's 75,000, it's not much difference. Watch. Even if it's say it's 75, just say it's 75. 75 times 75,000. That's $5 million. He's probably going to walk away with like $4 or $5 million for a tune-up. But he's not going to cost anybody money because guess what? He didn't lose any money. He's getting paid off the gate and he's getting paid off the pay-per-view. So if he gets 9 times 90.9 times 0.7 equals plus the million. So he walks away with about $6 million. He walks away with about $6 million for a tune-up against Robert Elanius. Seems like a lot of money for a one-round fight against a guy that he sparked out. And he did that coming off of a loss. But still, he generated the money. Nobody lost any money. Now, every fight that you list for these other guys, they lost money. Lost it. Even with Canelo. Like when Canelo did his 800,000. Watch. Canelo did 800,000 times $80. That's $64 million right there. Right? See, and then he got, so 60 million there. I don't know what his gate was, but if they guaranteed him 40, guess what? He's not going to get any pay-per-view until they make up the 40. So you subtract the 40 minus 40 million equals, that's $24 million. That's still $24 million to play with, of which he may get times 0.9 equals 21 million, and say he gets 70% of that. Actually, you got to do less than that. That is $64 million minus 50. You still got $14 million with the leeway in there because they got a guaranteed 10 for Caleb Plant. So they sold 800,000 pay-per-views and they got 14, and they had to come up off the 50, had to come back before they got paid. So they take their 40 back, but still they break even. Then you got $14 million left. Times 0.9 equals 12 times 0.7 equals 8 million. So you're looking at another 8 million. What, man, Guko, shut up, bro. You're going to get thrown out, dude. I'm not trying to. What is not true? Gayata Baku. What's not true? Before I get up out of here, bro. What's not true? Look, man, they are making money on these pay-per-views. Otherwise, they would not be having the pay-per-views. You all have to be complete idiots if you do not think that they're making money. Because if they were not making money, they would not continue to do it. Oh, you're talking about something else. If they were not making money, they would not continue doing it. They are making money. Otherwise, they wouldn't continue to do it. But just remember, we now have fights going all the way out through April. But according to the guys you get your pay-per-view numbers from and all your reliable Terrence Crawford information, PBC was out of business. And Showtime didn't have a budget. Just remember that. Just remember that. As we move on through the rest of this year, you remember everybody that said, you remember everybody that said that HBO does not have a budget, or Showtime does not have a budget, and they are going out of business. Remember everybody that said that the PBC is going bankrupt. Remember this. Despite the fact that they have a business model that all but ensures that you don't. You idiots that think they're going to go broke when they have almost no upfront costs. When all of their fights are BYOB, when it's bring your own booze every single time, but you think they're going out of business. Man, y'all wild, bro. Y'all are wild. But the guys that lost $6 billion can keep rolling. Like, guys lost $2 billion in 2021, and they're fine. But the people that literally make you pay to come in, literally like cash on hand, are the ones going broke. Oh yeah, and it's PBC and Showtime and Fox. Amazing. But look, I got to get up out of here. Much love to everybody in the chat, everybody in the super chat. Thank you guys for your support today. It really does really makes a huge difference. Everybody that supported in the super chat and the Cash App, and all y'all that watched and hit that like button. We got the likes over 600. It really does mean a lot. Thank you guys so much, bro. But with that, I've got to bounce up out of here. And deuces.